The eyes of all the big guys from the other shore realm were shining with light. They were all curious and wanted to know what Lin Moyu had seen and heard. This may be related to some secrets from ancient times. People like them are constantly searching and exploring things from ancient times. Not just them, but other ethnic groups as well. As long as it is related to ancient times, it can attract their attention. The Black Rain secret realm is also related to the soul, and they all know the origin of the secret realm, so they judge that it is possible to obtain information about ancient times in the Black Rain secret realm. Wu Xingzuan drank tea and said softly, "Don't disturb him. If he finds anything, he will take the initiative to tell you. If he didn't say it, we wouldn't ask." Someone from the other side was puzzled. Why? As a member of the human race, if you know something, shouldn't you say it? Saint Hao glanced at him. Then are you willing to share what you know with him? This person from the other shore was stunned for a moment and immediately became silent. He's in the other side realm. After living for so many years, he knows too many things. How to share this? But he could understand what Xingzuan Hao meant, which was not to ask Lin Moyu. Everyone can clearly feel that Saint Hao has a very special attitude towards Lin Moyu. From the very beginning, Yuan Xingzuan's attitude was extremely clear. Don't bother Lin Moyu, let him develop freely. Wu Xingzuan is a saint, so others naturally dare not object to his decision. Wu Xingzuan continued, we explore the world that belongs to us, and Lin Moyu explores the world soul that belongs to him. Maybe one day, he will grow to the same level as us, and what he knows will be corroborated with what we know. In this way, you will gain more. Everyone understood what Saint Hao meant. They were from the other side. Once they intervened in Lin Moyu's growth, they might be able to make Lin Moyu grow faster. But again, a lot will be missed. Lin Moyu has his own growth trajectory, and everything needs to be experienced by him. Saint Hao looked at Madame Yu. Madame Yu, how is Fairy Han's situation now? Mrs. Yu chuckled, the situation is very good, she is about to break through to the 4th level of the god. I have never seen such a talent. Judging from this speed, it is very likely that she will break through to the other side before she is 100 years old. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the other shore realm looked shocked. What kind of joke is this to break the other shore at the age of 100? Has anything like this ever happened since ancient times? It is impossible to defeat the God Lord at 100 years old, let alone the other side. Madame Yu asked softly, Lord Holy Lord, did you see anything at that time? Wu Xingzuan shook his head, it's just a guess. Her situation seems to be related to a certain legend. Madame Jade instinctively asked, what legend? Wu Xingzuan chuckled and shook his head, but did not answer. Mrs. Yu was also very knowledgeable and didn't ask any more questions. Some things can be said clearly without asking. There are some things that I can't say, even if I ask, I won't say them. However, Wu Xingzuan's words also made all the other side bosses think about it. What kind of legend is this? After all, Lin Mohan's cultivation speed is too fast. Fu Xingzuan whispered, Lin Moyu got a corner of the ancient talisman, and I don't know if it is good or bad. In a while, the secret realm of Jiwashan will be opened. Should I let him participate? Saint Hao thought for a while and whispered, let it go. Galaxy number 13283, star number 1. Lin Moyu landed on the ground silently. It seems that star number 1 has no defense, but it is actually covered by a formation. If an unknown person approaches, the formation will immediately sound an alarm and launch a direct counterattack. Moreover, there is a human network here, so it is impossible for enemies to sneak in. Standing on the avenue, people were coming and going, including practitioners and ordinary people. In the Divine City, cultivators and ordinary people are not distinguished like the 4-star regions. The human race has adopted 2 training models. In the 4-star domain, ordinary cultivators are distinguished. The 2 are in different living areas and generally don't have much contact. Since childhood, he has established a life goal for ordinary people, which is to become a cultivator and a strong person. In this way, people in the 4-star domain work very hard. At the same time, Renhuang Network also strictly protects ordinary people. Basically, there will be no danger before reaching the 5th level of authority. Of course, if you enter the battlefield, that's a different story. In the Divine City Star territory, another training method is adopted. Here ordinary people and practitioners are not separated, but mixed together. Ordinary people can often see powerful cultivators. The cultivators come and go, in and out of the stars, which can also arouse most people's desire to become stronger. But the Divine City is even more cruel. Compared with the 4-star region, the Human Emperor Network's protection for the cultivators in the Divine City is much weaker. Although the City of God does not need to face war, it still has to face its own dangers. The cultivators first entered the Resource Star. In the Resource Star, there would be some strange beasts. There are evil spirits in the ancient battlefield, and life-threatening runes in the secret realm. Due to the many dangers, many people die in the City of God every year. Simply looking at the death toll, it was even more than in the 4-star region. But so what, everyone thinks it's normal. Cultivation is originally a journey through big waves, and cultivators cannot be afraid of death. This is what the top leaders of the human race think, and their entire purpose is to select the best among the best. From the vast sea of people, find geniuses with good Taoist aspirations, qualifications, talents, and luck. Lin Moyu felt as if he was standing on a commanding height again, watching the world move from a bird's-eye view. This state is very abnormal, but it is also normal. Lin Moyu knows the root cause because his soul level is too high. Starting from the soul level, he has reached the level of the other side. The other shore realm is the legend of this era and is the strongest. The rules that govern the world are made by them. Unknowingly, I will naturally face everything in the world with this mentality. He will no longer be measured by his true level. Even if he faces a god who is stronger than himself, he will not be timid at all. Because I have already seen my own future, good money. That is the other side realm. The divine realm cannot stop oneself from moving forward. This is a very weird feeling, but I have to say that Lin Moyu somewhat enjoys this feeling. Outside Guancher Hall is the Tea Friend's residence. Lin Moyu sat in the Tea Friend's residence and ordered a pot of tea. The tea was mediocre, and Lin Moyu's mouth was spoiled by the Wu Dao tea. But here, Lin Moyu didn't take out the Enlightenment tea, otherwise there would be too much noise. Lin Moyu is like an expert integrated into the world, drinking tea and listening to everyone's discussions. As long as he wanted to, he could hear everyone's comments. Even if you use soul transmission, you can't hide it from him. Many of these people had just come out of Guancher Hall, and what they talked about the most was what happened recently. Many of them have to do with themselves. He has cleared another secret realm, and it is inevitable that he will cause a sensation. There is also some information about recent events in the human race. Lin Moyu heard the news that the giant tree in the starry sky jumped. The giant tree in the starry sky is also a hot topic recently, with many people discussing it. According to the information from Guanchatang, a strong man from our human race took action and seriously injured the giant tree in the starry sky. Unfortunately, he still escaped. There is no way. The starry sky giant tree has the talent of space law. If it wants to escape intentionally, it will be difficult to chase it. Isn't there some way? If he recovers, he will cause trouble to the human race again. It will definitely come. The feud is so big this time. Human cultivators who wander around in the future should be careful. After the human race reaches the 5th level of authority, or becomes a god, many people will leave the human star field and go to the big world to wander around. There are countless mysterious places and countless opportunities in the big world. For those with ambitions, opportunities come one after another to move them to a higher level. There are also many deities who are firm in their Taoism, like taking risks, and will look for breakthroughs between life and death. There are many strong people from the human race wandering around outside. If they encounter the giant tree in the starry sky, it will indeed be very dangerous. It can be said that if the giant starry sky tree is not completely eradicated, this dangerous factor will always exist. But the space laws of the giant tree in the starry sky are indeed a headache. As far as Lin Moyu knows, no one in the human race has understood the 870 space law. No one with such a huge base can understand the laws of space. You can imagine how difficult it is. Suddenly someone said, actually, there is no way to deal with the giant tree in the starry sky. You just need to ask the strong men of the starry sky fishmen for help. There are several strong men in the starry sky fishmen who control the laws of space. His words immediately triggered a new round of discussion, and everyone quickly shifted the topic to the starry skyfish people. The relationship between the starry skyfish people and the human race is not bad. If they can be asked to help, maybe they can really get rid of the starry sky giant tree. Lin Moyu listened, and he knew very well that things were by no means that simple. Otherwise, the other side realm and the human race would have invited him long ago. The person who took action this time should be the Holy Lord. I don't know if it is the Holy Lord how. There should be some other worldly beings among the human race, but there should not be many holy ones. If the human race is like this, there will only be fewer starry skyfish humans. At least we have to ask the Holy Lord to take action, then everything will be safe, but there is no way the Holy Lord can clear things up so easily. Lin Moyu's level is different from theirs, and he can see it more clearly. When thinking of the starry skyfish people, Yu Qingru naturally comes to mind. Yu Qingru left a deep impression on him. She was an amazing woman. Courageous, affectionate, heroic, and a bit domineering at the same time. In a certain aspect, she has the shadow of Lin Mohan. Thinking of Yu Qingru, Lin Moyu also thought of two other things. A soul sleeping in the soul bead, this soul belongs to the starry skyfish people. The other is a small sword obtained from the netherworld swamp, a small sword that can tear apart space. At that time, the soul was not strong enough and did not dare to go to Kakumura Soul Pearl. Look now, there should be no problem. That little sword may really have something to do with Yu Qingru. In the scene recorded on the tombstone, the magnificent Princess Ro is exactly the same as Yu Qingru. Looking back now, Lin Moyu still feels that they are the same person. But this doesn't seem to make sense. If you have the chance to meet Yu Qingru again in the future, you can ask and return the soul beads to them. Tea lovers and friends came and went in Curie, and all kinds of news kept coming. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu has been sitting in the tea room for 2 days and 2 nights. In 2 days, Lin Moyu completely relaxed himself. Don't think about cultivation, don't think about runes, and don't think about rules. After relaxing, Lin Moyu felt extremely relaxed. He realized that he had been pushing himself too hard. During this trip to the secret realm, the ancient runes took him back to ancient times and saw the amazing things she had done. Later, he was allowed to see the evolution of the secret realm, which greatly touched Lin Moyu, and at the same time made him feel the fatigue deep in his soul. Only then did he truly realize that he needed to rest and wipe away his fatigue so that he could have greater benefits for the future. Junior brother, we meet again. A slightly feminine voice came. Lin Moyu raised his head and saw Luo Feiyu. Like the voice, the person is slightly feminine, and there is even a touch of paleness on the face. A cultivator in the minor god realm, his physical body has at least reached the level of a true god, and his energy and blood are abundant. Not to mention smashing a planet with one punch, at least knocking down several mountains is not a problem. But now, he is just like an ordinary person who is sick. Not long after the last meeting, Luo Feiyu's condition became more and more serious. This pallor comes from the soul, and mental problems begin to affect the soul. Moreover, Luo Feiyu's aura was very unstable. Sometimes he was the little god lord, and sometimes he was the 9th level god king. He can't even maintain his realm. Junior brother, you can see it. Luo Feiyu sat down opposite Lin Moyu, poured himself a cup of tea in a familiar manner, and then raised the teacup. Luo apologizes to his junior brother for his previous recklessness. This is a place where tea lovers live, so drinking is not suitable, so Luo drank tea instead of wine. As he spoke, he drank 3 cups of tea instead of wine, put down the cup and continued talking. If junior brother is free, you can go back to Luo's house with Luo. Luo should treat you with good wine and have a good drink with master. Although Luo Feiyu looks feminine and speaks softly, the meaning behind his words is very bold. Lin Moyu looked at him, and Luo Feiyu's eyes were sincere and not nonsense. Lin Moyu stood up slowly. I heard that Luo's wine is good. Luo Feiyu showed joy. It's indeed good. In this galaxy, my Luo family's wine is second, but no one dares to be first. The Luo family is the management family of this galaxy and is powerful. There are 2 gods in the family. One is at the 2nd level, and the other is at the 6th level, only 1 step away from the 7th level. Starting from the 7th level of deity, it is also called high-level deity. The combat power is much stronger than when the God Lord was at the 6th level. According to the rules of the human race, if a high-level god appears in the family, the entire family can move from the primary area to the intermediate area. At that time, you can still control a galaxy and obtain more resources. It is said that in the medium area, the rules are more obvious. It is of little use to the deity, but the people under the deity will get twice the result with half the effort if they practice it. Moreover, in the intermediate area, resources are more abundant, and both quantity and quality have been greatly improved. For practitioners, it also has unlimited benefits. As the saying goes, when one person attains enlightenment, chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. This is the truth. The Luo family is located outside the city and occupies a large mountain range. This is their privilege. Luo Feiyu is the eldest son of Luo. He has an independent courtyard. It is called a courtyard and its scale is comparable to that of a manor. Luo Fei likes to be quiet. There is no one else but him in the huge yard. Junior brother, sit down for a moment while I go to the wine store to get some wine. As he spoke, he flew into a tower-shaped building more than 100 meters high. This tower is the Luo family's wine warehouse, which stores the Luo family's homebrewed wine. After a while, Luo Feiyu flew back with 2 large jars of wine. The wine jar is huge and taller than Lin Moyu. Luo Feiyu said, Junior brother, each of us has 1 jar. Each jar is 500 kilograms. It's not enough. It can be seen that Luo Feiyu is also a drunkard. When he said this, a rare blush appeared on his pale face. In fact, he always smelled of alcohol, which was also the result of being soaked in alcohol all year round. Luo Feiyu took out a few side dishes from the storage ring. Lin Moyu took a look and felt more and more that Luo Feiyu had something interesting. The side dishes he brought out were the most common dishes to go with wine. Beef and peanuts are all homemade dishes. In fact, given his status, there is no problem in getting some delicious starry sky beasts to drink with. Luo Feiyu said, if you really drink alcohol, you can't pair it with too delicious food, as it will affect the taste of the wine. This is like our Luo family's wine. Although it is not as good as those peerless wines, it is all aged. We store the wine in the wine cellar. The older it is, the more fragrant the wine will be. Just like these 2 jars, they are both wines that have been stored for more than 500 years, and they already taste good. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and patted the wine jar away. Suddenly, a strong fragrance rushed out from the wine jar and lingered for a long time. Lin Moyu praised, it's really good. He didn't do much research on wine, but just by smelling the aroma, he knew it was good wine. Luo Feiyu drew a line of wine and dropped it into the bowl in his hand, then picked up the bowl and said, there is no need to replace wine with tea this time. Lu formally apologizes to his junior brother. Luo was also distracted at the time and did something wrong. Fortunately, it did not cause a major disaster. This bowl, Luo Mao apologizes. As he spoke, he drank a large bowl of wine in one breath, and then poured himself another bowl. Junior brother has a broad mind and does not care about Luo. Luo is deeply grateful. Thank you for this bowl, junior brother. The second bowl was eaten, and then another bowl was filled. Junior brother came here and happened to meet Luo Mao, which gave Luo Mao a chance to make amends. This bowl honors our fate. After 3 bowls of wine, Luo Feiyu's face became even more rosy. Apparently, he didn't have room to dispel the alcohol smell. But for people like him who have been drinking since childhood, it is very difficult to drink even if the smell of alcohol is not dispelled. Unless it's the kind of liquor that can intoxicate the soul. 3 bowls of wine, he went from apologizing, to thanking, to being destined. Just like 2 people don't know each other without fighting, they use wine as an introduction and make friends through wine, and they seem to have become friends in the blink of an eye. Lin Moyu smiled slightly, took out the wine line from his wine jar, filled a bowl, and drank it in one gulp. The wine bowl hangs upside down, so that no drop of water will leak out. Then the second bowl, then the third bowl. After dropping 3 bowls in a row, Lin Moyu gently picked up a peanut and said, I haven't eaten it for a long time. I remember the last time I ate it was in the small world. Luo Feiyu was slightly startled. Junior brother, are you from the small world? Lin Moyu nodded slightly and threw the peanuts into his mouth. It doesn't matter how it tastes, what matters is the memories. In the big world, ordinary people don't have to worry about eating and drinking, but cultivators don't have to worry about eating or drinking. Not many people eat small things like this. After learning that Lin Moyu came from a small world, Luo Feiyu had a little more admiration in his eyes. Being able to come out of the small world and enter the divine city, and also be able to lay out such a powerful formation, this kind of person has an unlimited future. In Luo Feiyu's eyes, Lin Moyu is much better than him. Thinking of himself, Luo Feiyu couldn't help but sigh and his eyes dimmed. Luo Feiyu's drinking speed also slowed down. Junior brother, to be honest, Luo was indeed a little jealous of junior brother that day. The formations arranged by my junior brother are really unbelievable. They are simply a genius. Luo's mood was lacking, and he really couldn't hold it back that day. At the same time as the junior brother said, Luo wanted to borrow the help of his junior brother to make up for his mood. Lin Moyu smiled and said, Senior brother Luo, are you sure that if you win, you can complete your mood? Luo Feiyu shook his head, not sure, but I can't think of any other way. Lin Moyu ordered another piece of beef. The beef was also the most ordinary and simple beef, not the foot of the starry sky. Its taste happens to be the taste that Lin Moyu misses the most. Senior brother Luo, can you tell me about your situation? Luo Feiyu drank his wine and laughed miserably. There is something that cannot be said. In fact, many people know it, but they just don't know it is so serious. The second stage of the Black Rain's secret realm, I fell into the sea. The less you say, the greater the consequences. Lin Moyu knows very well what it means to fall into the sea in the second stage. Lin Moyu was slightly startled. Senior brother Luo is also a member of the Secret Realm strategy team? Luo Feiyu was stunned on the spot. Junior brother actually knows about the Secret Realm strategy team. Suddenly, he felt funny again. Lin Moyu was so talented, and it seemed normal for him to know the Secret Realm strategy team. Luo Feiyu drank another large bowl of wine. I'm not in the Secret Realm strategy team. I have a friend who is. He told me how to enter the second stage of the Black Rain secret realm. I know that the Secret Realm strategy team's information is not allowed to be leaked to outsiders, but that refers to a large-scale leak. If it is only told to 1 or 2 people, it won't matter much. I really want to join the Secret Realm strategy team, because that's where top talents should go. But if you want to join the Secret Realm strategy team, you must clear at least 1 secret realm. In the second stage, I found the huge rune beast and I wanted to kill it. But it was too strong. I was no match for it. Instead, I was accidentally knocked into the sea by him. I thought I was dead at the time, but I was very lucky. I had a soul magic weapon that woke me up at the last moment and saved my life. Luo Feiyu said while drinking, with helpless bitterness in his voice. Lin Moyu can completely imagine the whole process. When the shark talisman appears, it should actually fight the giant bird talisman. The sudden killing of Luo Feiyu was nothing at all. After Luo Feiyu fell into the sea, the shark rune beast did not continue to chase Luo Feiyu. But Luo Feiyu was hit by the sea water in the secret realm. The sea water in the second stage of the secret realm is a rune more powerful than the black water. It will continuously impact the soul and produce a strong illusion, making people trapped in it and never being able to extricate themselves. Once this happens, you will stay in the secret realm forever. Even if you are still alive, it is actually the same as dead. Luo Feiyu's mood was damaged after falling into the sea and experiencing various illusions. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior brother Luo, do you still remember what illusion you saw?" Luo Feiyu shook his head. "It's very specific, there are only some vague pictures. I must have experienced many lives, and I must have experienced love, hate, and resentment. I must have killed many people." Lin Moyu continued to ask, "Does senior brother still know how long he has been stuck in the Black Sea?" Luo Feiyu nodded. "After I escaped, I counted the time and found that I was in the Black Sea for almost 3 days. 3 days. At the speed at which the illusion evolves, a person can experience a whole life in just 1 minute. In 3 days, Lu Feiyu did not know how many lives he had experienced. The experiences of this lifetime, the joys, sorrows, emotions, and hatreds among them, may have turned his soul into a hornet's nest. The scariest thing is not these, but that he doesn't even remember these illusions. Those traumas have become the subconscious mind and an instinct. It is difficult for Guang to help him again. Now there are only 2 paths before Luo Feiyu. Either break through the Divine Lord, jump into the Law Galaxy with your soul, and use the power of the Law Galaxy to cleanse your soul. Perhaps you can repair all the effects of the illusion and restore your state of mind. But this method is difficult. Judging from Luo Feiyu's current situation, it is almost impossible to break through the Divine Lord. Not only is it impossible to break through, but the current cultivation level of the little god may not be maintained. There is a second method, which is to erase all Luo Feiyu's memories. But doing so would cause huge damage to Luo Feiyu's soul. By then, the mental problem may be solved, and Lu Feiyu will no longer be Lu Feiyu. It will be equally difficult to break through the Divine Lord in the future. For an aspiring cultivator, doing this is more uncomfortable than killing him. And this is a well-known method. I believe Luffy you also knows it. The first type has been impossible to achieve through 357. Luo Feiyu would not choose the second type. Now he has no way out. Luo Feiyu drank several bowls of wine, his feminine temperament gradually dissipated, his face was rosy after drinking, and his voice became a little louder. "Junior brother, don't worry, everyone has his own destiny, maybe this is my fate. After a while, when my cultivation level is lowered, the problem of mental state may not be such a big problem. Being a quiet god king and living for thousands of years is actually not bad. No matter what, you can still drink wine for thousands of years." Luo Feiyu poured himself wine, bowl after bowl. He looks very free and easy, but the helplessness in him is all in the wine. The lower the realm, the lower the requirements for mental state. With Luo Feiyu's current situation, once his cultivation begins to decline, it will be like a waterfall falling out of control. In the end, he may stabilize at the first and second levels of the God King. Falling from a young god to the first or second level of a God King is a terrible blow to any cultivator. Lin Moyu was also drinking, but he didn't answer Luo Feiyu's words. He was thinking if there was any other way. But after thinking about it, there really is no good way. Luo Feiyu burped. "Originally, I wanted to try my luck again, and then go to the Black Rain secret realm, and then go to the Black Sea. If we can make up for it this time, we can get a new life. If I can't make it up, then I will sink into the Black Sea and never come back. What a pity. Now that the Black Rain secret realm is gone, I can't go there even if I want to. That guy named Lin Moyu is really a genius. He cleared 3 secret realms in a row, which is really impressive. I heard that little Lin Moyu also came out of the small world, just like junior brother. Has junior brother seen him? Luo Feiyu was talking to himself and drinking, completely unaware that Lin Moyu was not listening to him. When he mentioned that he was going to enter the Black Sea again, he gave Lin Moyu a reminder. The root of the Black Rain secret realm is an ancient talisman, and this ancient talisman is staying quietly in his soul at this moment. The Black Sea and Black Water all evolved from this ancient talisman. To untie the bell, you must tie the bell. If you can control an ancient talisman, maybe Lu Feiyu can be saved. Not being a good person, Lin Moyu also hopes that he can control this ancient talisman. If you can control a corner of the ancient talisman, it wouldn't be a bad idea to help Luo Feiyu. Lin Moyu suddenly asked, Senior brother Luo, is there a time room here? Ancient talisman is not easy to control, and it will definitely take a lot of time. Lin Moyu doesn't know exactly how long it will take, and it will take many years. Making rational use of time is naturally the best way. Luo Feiyu nodded. There is no time room in this galaxy. In the primary area, there is only one time room for every 1,000 galaxies. The nearest time house is in the galaxy number 14,000. But junior brother, why are you going to the time room? In fact, the cultivation effect in that kind of place is not very useful. The time room can save time, but it will distort the laws and make it more difficult to understand the laws. Taken together, the efficiency improvement of time house is actually not that high. Moreover, the time room charges are not cheap, and generally not many people choose to go to the time room. Lin Moyu said, I have some insights and want to practice in the time room. Luo Feiyu said cheerfully, since junior brother is going, then Luo will take you there. After drinking, Luo Feiyu became less feminine and more cheerful. He waved his hand and put away his wine jar. In just a short time, less than half of the 500 kilograms of aged wine was gone. Smelling of alcohol, Lu Feiyu led Lin Moyu towards the teleportation array. The Divine City star field is very large, and there are naturally teleportation arrays between the galaxies. It's just that Lin Wu has never had the chance to use it. At that time, his identity was exposed, and a large group of people came to find him. The first thing they did was to guard the teleportation array. Wherever he can go, if he goes there, he will be surrounded by people. Now Lin Moyu has become a star-like figure. Luo Feiyu seemed to deliberately want to get drunk, flying in midair in an awkward manner, sometimes high but not low. The teleportation array in the Divine City is not cheap. Every time you teleport, you will be charged 1 point of Divine City merit. If you don't have the merits of the Divine City, you can only operate within your own galaxy, or fly to other galaxies like Lin Moyu. Fortunately, the distances between the galaxies in the Divine City star domain are not far apart. At the speed of the God King, it only takes a few hundred days to fly from one galaxy to another if it is closer, and only a few hundred days if it is farther. This time Lin Moyu is going to the Chu 14,000 galaxy, which will span hundreds of galaxies and a distance of more than 1,000 light years. In this way, it would be a bit unrealistic to fly. Even at Lin Moyu's speed, it would take 2,000 years to fly 1,000 light years. Of course, these are only for cultivators below the God King realm. If it were a god, it would not be difficult for them to span hundreds of light years. Luo Feiyu was very polite and directly paid the transmission fee for Lin Moyu. Junior brother, how can I ask you to pay when you come to my Luo house? Senior brother, I will pay for the transmission fee. Luo Feiyu slapped his chest, he was even drunker than before. Lin Moyu did not refuse his kindness. The teleportation array flashed, taking the two of them to the first 14,000 star system. During the transmission process, Lin Moyu felt like he had passed through layers of barriers. During this time, it seemed that someone was paying attention to himself and scanning himself. Lin Moyu can feel that this kind of attention comes from Renhuang Network. Renhuang Network will detect and verify the identity of each transmitted person. Lin Moyu once again felt the extraordinary power of the Human Emperor network. The space was distorted during the transmission. Even in this state, Renhuang network can conduct detection, which shows how far the power of Huang network has reached. If he detects something wrong with the target, he can even attack directly in this state. There is no doubt that Renhuang network definitely has this ability. The first 14,000 degrees galaxy is a yellow sand galaxy. In the entire galaxy, there are a total of 8 planets, 1 star, and 7 planets. No one lives here, but there are troops stationed there. The entire galaxy is covered with yellow sand. Yellow sand is flying inside the planet, and the same is true outside the planet. Flying in the yellow sand was blown over by the wind and hit his face, making a crackling sound. The space around Lin Moyu was slightly distorted, and the hell of bones blocked all the yellow sand. Luo Feiyu's whole body was also shimmering, isolating the yellow sand. Being blown by the strong wind, Luo Feiyu's drunkenness seemed to have weakened. It is said that a long time ago, there was a giant starry beast here that was more powerful than the god, named Huangsha. It was killed by a strong human race, and its body turned into yellow sand, which has been floating in the galaxy. These yellow sands will never leave the galaxy. They keep flying and flying for who knows how many years. This place is no longer suitable for human survival. Later, it was taken over by the military and transformed, and a time house was set up here. You also know that there is a special material used to decorate the time room, which seems to be called the Stone of Time. This material is very rare, so the quantity of time abuse is not very large. Lin Moyu naturally understands. The most critical material for arranging the time house is the Stone of Time. Use the Stone of Time to arrange the formation, and only then can the time house be arranged in the formation. When he was in the Suzaku Star territory, Lin Moyu went to the time house once. There is also a time house in Huanshan continent. However, the number of time houses in the 4 major star fields is not that many, and they can be counted even if they are added together. Now it seems that there are not many time rooms in the Divine City Star territory. The key is because the number of time stones is too rare. Luo Feiyu suddenly whispered half-jokingly, "Let me tell you secretly, in fact, our human race does not lack the Stone of Time, but it is a strategic material, and part of it must be supplied to the Human Emperor network. To maintain the Human Emperor's training ground, a lot of time stones are needed." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "It's better not to say this." Luo Feiyu's drunkenness had not completely subsided, and he snorted, "It's okay, it's just our guess. There are many people outside who say so. Actually, it doesn't matter even if it is true. The Human Emperor network is of great significance to our human race, and the Human Emperor training field is even more so. Even if all the resources are taken away, we will not intentionally." Luo Feiyu waved his hand, looking like I was very generous. The yellow sand suddenly became chaotic, and a sandstorm came unexpectedly. Energy fluctuations piled on top of each other, mixing and rushing over in the sandstorm. The energy is so strong that the skeleton hell twists and deforms violently, reaching its limit almost instantly. God! Lin Moyu felt the powerful power of the law, fighting with gods and sandstorms. He put away the skeleton hell in an instant, allowing the energy to impact his body, and the Undead Army shared the damage for him. The other party is not targeting him, it's just the aftermath of the battle. However, it can also be felt from the aftermath of the battle that the strength of the gods in the previous battle is at least the 3rd level of the gods. Turning to look at Luo Feiyu's whole body was glowing with light at this moment. The clothes on his body were like a magic weapon, and they shimmered to protect him from the impact. But in the face of the impact of the power of the God Lord, this robe that is only at the level of the God King obviously cannot last long. Luo Feiyu obviously wanted to retreat, but the god's power rushed towards him in waves, like a restraint, making him unable to move. Lin Moyu pointed his finger, and a golden armor talisman appeared on his fingertips and flew straight to Luo Feiyu. The golden armor talisman exploded and turned into a light golden armor, blocking most of the impact for Luo Feiyu. Retreat. After taking a breath, Lin Moyu gave a soft drink and immediately led him back. The two of them retreated nearly 1,000 miles in an instant before slowing down. Lin Moyu is a little confused as to why there are gods fighting here. With the power of God, it is not difficult to destroy the galaxy. If we fight inside the planet, we can destroy the planet in minutes. Luo Feiyu's face turned slightly pale and returned to his normal appearance. After the torment just now, all the drunkenness disappeared. Luo Feiyu smiled bitterly. I was about to say, although the yellow sand beast died back then, its flesh and blood remained. Flesh and blood has transformed the entire galaxy. This galaxy has become extremely strong and can withstand the power of the god. Later, a monster called the Sand Beast was born in the galaxy. I didn't pay attention to it at first, but in the past 10,000 years, the number of sand beasts has increased sharply, and their strength has become stronger and stronger. It is said that the strongest sand beast has reached the realm of gods. Just in case, gods often come over to eradicate the sand beasts. You can take a look. There are tasks here. Many people have taken over the task of eradicating the sand beasts. Lin Moyu communicated with Renhuang Network and found the corresponding task. The mission covers the entire yellow sand galaxy. There are sand beasts on not only one planet, but all planets in the galaxy. Luo Feiyu chuckled. You see, you can get 1,000 points for killing the sand beasts in the God King realm, and you can get 10,000 points for each of the little god-level sand beasts. As for the divine-level sand beasts, each one can get 10 points of divine city merit. If you can kill the elite sand beast, you can even get 100 points of divine city merit. The rewards are very generous. Killing the god sovereign realm sand beast can directly obtain the divine city merit. Killing a sand beast is equivalent to completing a basic mission in the secret realm. Seeing Lin Moyu's appearance, Luo Feiyu couldn't help but laugh and said, "Do you think that if you come here and kill some sand beasts, you can get a lot of merit from the divine city? How can sand beasts be so easy to kill? These guys will run away as soon as they see that they can't be beaten. If you can't kill them with absolute power, they will escape without a trace. I have been here before and fought against sand beasts. I know how difficult these guys are." Lin Moyu understands in his heart and thinks this is normal. Otherwise, this place would have been full of gods, and no matter how many beasts there wouldn't be enough to kill. The gods also need the merits of the divine city. They also need to upgrade their level, or use the merits of the divine city to exchange for some good magic weapons. The higher the level, the better the magic weapons that can be redeemed. In many cases, the deities value the merits of the divine city more than other cultivators. Because their goals are higher and bigger, and their needs are more and more. Boom! There was a loud noise from ahead, and the two saw yellow sand rising into the sky, like a volcano erupting. A few minutes later, the yellow sand fell from the sky, everything became calm, and even the sandstorm disappeared. There was a middle-aged man standing in the sky, his face was not pretty. Lin Moyu saw his message, Jianshen, third-level god. Jianshen's face seemed ugly, and he frowned tightly. He glanced at Lin Moyu and Luo Feiyu from a distance, then turned and left. After he left, Luo Feiyu whispered, "He failed to kill Chao." Lin Moyu had actually seen it. When the yellow sand rose into the sky just now, he vaguely saw a monster getting into the yellow sand on the earth and disappearing. No wonder Jianshen's face looked so ugly. If the cooked duck flies away, no one will look good. Lin Moyu and Luo Feiyu did not encounter sand beasts on the way. According to Luo Feiyu's explanation, there are not many sand beasts on the stars where the time room is arranged, and the chance of encountering them is very low. Moreover, sand beasts have a strong sense of territory. If you encounter sand beasts, as long as you fly faster and leave their territory, they generally will not chase them. Sand beasts have no intelligence, only instinct, the instinct of beasts. Lin Moyu vaguely guessed why the human race issued an order to eliminate the sand beasts. They were afraid that if the number of sand beasts increased, the former giant sand beast would be resurrected. In other words, the giant yellow river beast was never killed at all. This yellow sand is its flesh and blood, and the sand beast is more like a parasite in its body. The sages of the human race were definitely capable of completely wiping out each other, but why they didn't do it back then is worth pondering. When you reach the level of the other side, you will never do meaningless things. Since it is retained without being completely exterminated, it must be useful. When Lin Moyu saw the time house, he had the answer. The time house is shrouded in a huge formation, with more than 100 stone houses evenly distributed at various nodes of the formation. At the same time, there is a palace located in the center of the formation, which controls the operation of the entire formation. When approaching the time room, Lin Moyu heard a sound similar to a heartbeat. At the same time, he sensed a force of vitality. The giant yellow sand beast was indeed not killed. Its heart was taken and served as the eye of the formation, providing a steady stream of energy for the time house. The heart of the majestic yellow sand beast in the other shore realm was taken away and used as a formation eye. I have to say, this ending is very sad. But it also reveals the cruelty of the big world from the side. If you are not strong enough, you will eventually be reduced to dust, and you may even be unable to survive or die. Lin Moyu finally understood why the sand beast was born and why it was necessary to eradicate it. It is indeed possible for the giant beast in the other side realm to be resurrected, but he is not really dead yet. Seeing Lin Moyu's strange state, Luo Feiyu couldn't help asking, "Junior brother, what's wrong with you?" Lin Moyu looked at the time room, as if he saw a heart in the center of the formation. "Brother Luo, have you heard the heartbeat?" "Heartbeat?" Luo Feiyu listened carefully for a few seconds. "I didn't hear anything." It seems that the boss of the other side realm has been specially treated so that ordinary people cannot hear it. Lin Moyu understood that the reason why he could hear the heartbeat of the giant beast was because his soul was strong enough. But Luo Feiyu's soul realm is not enough, so he can't hear it. Suddenly, a figure flew from far away, landed on the formation of the time house, and shouted to the two of them, "You guys go in." The visitor was none other than Jian Shen, whom he had just met. He was now more serious than before, even a little anxious. Luo Feiyu was a little strange. Lin Moyu turned to look at the outside world and whispered, "Go in first." The two people passed through the formation, and there were two worlds inside and outside the formation, and no sound from outside could come in at all. This formation can not only change the flow of time, but also has extremely strong defensive power. Luo Feiyu said strangely, "His temper is a bit strange." Lin Moyu looked at the outside world through the formation. "No, he is saving us." Luo Fei was a little confused. Lin Moyu whispered, "They are coming." As soon as the words fell, the earth shook violently, and a sandstorm suddenly appeared, not just in one place, but in all directions. The sandstorm connected the heaven and the earth and surrounded the time array in the blink of an eye. The location of the formation has become an isolated island. The alarm sounded loudly in the formation, the doors of the time rooms were opened, and the cultivators inside came out. There were also cultivators flying out of the palace to look at the sandstorm outside the formation. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. He felt that this formation was not that simple. There are actually 5 gods guarding the place. Logically speaking, it is really a bit of a luxury. 5 gods, plus Jian Shen, there are 6 gods in total. Adding together the cultivators of the God King realm, there are 20 people. Luo Feiyu asked in a low voice, "What happened?" Lin Moyu looked around and asked, "Have you heard of the beast tide?" Luo Feiyu is in the same room, so he naturally knows about the beast tide. "You mean, there are sand beasts coming to attack the formation?" Lin Moyu hummed. The center of the formation, under the palace, is the heart of the yellow sand beast. These sand beasts in the sandstorm in front of us can be regarded as the descendants of the giant sand beasts. There seems to be no problem for future generations to rescue their fathers. Several gods looked at the god king in the formation and whispered, "You stay here and don't come out." After saying that, the 5 gods flew out of the formation at the same time and stood side by side with Jianshin. They seemed to be saying something, but their voices were isolated by the formation and could not be heard in the formation. But except for Lin Moyu, the isolation of the formation was ineffective on him. He clearly heard the conversation of the god. In the sandstorm, a large number of beast shadows appeared. Sand beasts appear one after another, ranging in size from big to small, and from strong to weak in combat power. The number of sand beasts is astonishing, overwhelming. The majestic aura impacted the formation, and there were at least 20 god-level sand beasts among them. Luo Feiyu felt like he was slapped in the face. He had just said that there were not many Shalu, especially the god sand beast is rare to see. Now, isn't this just a slap in the face? The star's light was suddenly blocked, and a larger group of sand dunes appeared above it. The yellow sand in the starry sky is drawn in and forms a sand cloud. 3 larger sand beasts appeared in the sand cloud. They were all elite-level sand beasts, each worth 100 points of Divine City merit. Elite-level sand beasts, with combat power of at least the 5th level of God, or even the 6th level of God. Very difficult to deal with. Even the time formation cannot completely isolate the breath of elite sand beasts. The powerful aura filled the air through the formation, and the expressions of several god kings changed drastically. Luo Feiyu's expression was solemn: 3 elite-level sand beasts, 20 god-level sand beasts, and countless god-level sand beasts. Why do so many sand beasts come? They seem to have premeditated it. But it doesn't matter. As long as a few gods can hold on for a while, someone will come to help us soon. There is an army stationed outside the galaxy. As long as the army is dispatched, dealing with these sand beasts will not be a problem. Lin Moyu shook his head. The sand beast destroyed the teleportation array. Not only the teleportation array on this planet, but also the teleportation arrays on the other 6 planets were destroyed. The army has indeed received the news, but it will take an hour to come to support. 1 hour. It's hard to say whether the 6 gods can block it for an hour. Luo Feiyu asked in a low voice, "How did you know?" Lin Moyu did not hide it. "I heard it from several gods." Luo Feiyu did not doubt Lin Moyu's words, he instinctively chose to believe you. But others didn't believe it. Lin Moyu's words were also heard by the 20 god kings present, and someone immediately snorted, "What a big talk for a mere 5th level god king." It's just that at the 5th level of the god king, even we can't hear it, but you can actually hear it? The sand beast destroyed the teleportation array? Are you kidding? How could the sand monk know how to destroy the teleportation array? Sand beasts have no intelligence at all, only instinct. How can they understand this? Everyone is questioning Lin Moyu. Among them are the 9th level god kings, and there are also minor gods like Lu Feiyu. Faced with everyone's doubts, Lin Moyu didn't react at all. He was thinking about other issues. Luo Feiyu expressed his dissatisfaction. "You know nothing. Just because you can't hear it doesn't mean others can't hear it. If you don't believe me, go out and ask the Lord if this is the case. Even if you don't dare to go out, don't you know how to look at your face? Does the deity look good? Can't you tell whether the situation is serious or not?" Luo Feiyu's words immediately aroused everyone's dissatisfaction, and everyone was ready to open fire on Luo Feiyu. Suddenly, the voice of the deity sounded in the formation. "Everyone enter the hall, the teleportation formation has been damaged, and reinforcements will arrive in an hour." Everyone was suddenly startled and looked at Lin Moyu with strange expressions. Lin Moyu was not talking nonsense, he really heard it. Lin Moyu ignored others and said to Luo Feiyu, "Let's go to the main hall." With that said, he took the lead and flew into the hall. The main hall was empty, it looked like there was nothing. Lin Moyu can feel that the main hall itself is a very powerful magic weapon with extremely strong defensive capabilities. At the same time, the main hall seems to have other functions. Standing in the hall, the heartbeat of the yellow sand beast became clearer. Lin Moyu closed his eyes and quickly found the source of the heartbeat, which was right below the main hall. The eyes of the soul are opened, and the soul power is in full swing. In an instant, Lin Moyu saw a different picture. There are a large number of runes engraved on the floor, around, on the top, and in every corner of the hall. These runes form a complex array. Lin Moyu recognized every rune and even mastered it completely. This talisman array. He quickly saw through the essence of the talisman array and understood its function. This hall not only controls the movement of time, but also suppresses the heart of the yellow sand beast. In addition to control and suppression, the talisman array also has another function. That's refining. The energy is extracted from the heart of the yellow sand giant beast. As for what is extracted, no one knows. The heartbeat of the yellow sand beast became extremely rhythmic, as if it was transmitting some signal to the outside world. This kind of signal can only be heard by sand beasts, and Lin Moyu only barely sensed it, but couldn't hear it at all. But Lin Moyu could imagine that today's beast tide should be a self-rescue by the yellow sand giant beasts. It wants to be resurrected, it wants to escape and ascend to heaven, and it no longer wants to be used as an eye of the formation, as a tool for refining energy. The yellow sand beast has wisdom. It is very common for the starry sky beasts in the other side realm to have wisdom. It is strange to have no wisdom. So it secretly planned this beast wave. In its plan, the probability of success of this beast tide is not low. 20 god-level sand beasts, plus 3 elite-level sand beasts equivalent to the 6th level of god. Only 6 human gods could not block it for an hour. Among the 6 human gods, the strongest is only a 5th level god, and at most he can compete with an elite sand beast. Lin Moyu finished his analysis and knew that today's matter might be a bit troublesome. Only then did he realize that except Luo Feiyu, everyone was far away from him. Their eyes looked at him with fear and shock. What happened to them? Lin Moyu was very surprised. Luo Feiyu whispered, "Junior brother, the look in your eyes just now was very scary, even scarier than the deity." Actually, he didn't tell the whole story. Lin Moyu's eyes were not only scary, but his breath was also scary. When the eyes of the soul are fully opened, waves of soul pressure are released uncontrollably. These people are just god kings and minor gods. They are impacted by the soul pressure of the other side realm, and naturally feel depressed and uncomfortable. The level difference between the two is too far to compete. It turned out to be like this. Lin Moyu burst into laughter. Just now, he was only looking at the talisman array and didn't care about this matter at all. But it doesn't matter. Boom! The ground shook violently. The roar spread into the hall, and everyone looked outside the hall. The battle outside the palace has begun. The sand beast fights with the god, and at the same time a large number of sand beasts are attacking the time formation. You can see through the main hall that sand beasts are overwhelming, both in the sky and on the ground. Their eyes glowed red and were extremely ferocious. The time array shook more and more violently. The sand beasts charged at the formation crazily, as if they would not give up until the formation was destroyed. Lin Moyu walked outside the palace and saw the real battle situation. The battle situation is not optimistic. The 6 gods are tightly restrained by 2 elite sand beasts and another wooden god-level Sheru. The remaining elite-level sand beast, with a total of 14 god-level sand beasts, and more than 100,000 god king-level sand beasts, was launching an indiscriminate bombardment attack on the time formation. The time formation is very strong and its defense is extremely powerful. The Stone of Time provides the law of time for the formation. The law of time changes the flow rate of time within a certain range and offsets a large number of attacks. As a first-tier law, the law of time can not only be used to assist cultivation, but can also be used to fight against enemies. When all attacks are still 10 meters away from the formation, the time is accelerated hundreds of times. Time distorts the laws of attack, weakening the attack greatly. Lin Moyu saw it in his eyes and saw the essence clearly. The law of time is really powerful. but no matter how powerful it is, the power of law provided by the Stone of Time is still limited, and the formation cannot stop it for long. Not to mention the lack of timing, I'm afraid I might not be able to hold on for 10 minutes. Lin Moyu could see that the 6 gods were very anxious in their eyes. What they were anxious about was not the inability to hold on to the formation, nor the life or death of themselves and others. But once the formation is destroyed and the yellow sand beast is resurrected, that will be the real big trouble. A giant beast from the other side of the sky was resurrected in the human star field. Even if a strong man from the other side realm takes action to kill him, it is impossible to calculate how much damage will be caused and how many people will die in the battle. At least dozens of nearby galaxies are trying to save it. Therefore, they must not resurrect the yellow sand beast, but they have no choice but to be anxious and have nothing to do. Anything they can think of, Lin Moyu can also think of. At that moment, he rushed out of the formation and appeared on the battlefield. Go back, don't come and die. This is not the place you should come, go back quickly. Go back to the palace. Several deities scolded each other in very harsh tones. They had good intentions and did not want Lin Moyu to die in vain. But Lin Moyu didn't take action, but just spoke directly. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. Stellar level spell, Gaze of the Dead. The red light spread out and covered a large area. For the first time, Lin Moyu did not control the scope of the curse, but instead covered as large a range as possible. There was a loud buzzing sound, and most of the planet was enveloped in red light. Countless sand beasts exploded and shattered on the spot. In an instant, the sand beast was gone. All sand beasts below the 7th level of the God King will die. The other sand beasts who were not in the realm of gods also screamed in agony. In the sky, thousands of meters of eyes of the undead appeared. In the gray flames, the eyes of the undead, emotionless and full of death, opened. It swept across the entire scene, and in an instant, the 8th level sand beast of the God King also died. Even the soul of the god-level sand beast was impacted, and the offensive came to a halt. With just 2 spells, most of the sand beasts were killed or injured. The gods who were fighting could not help but be stunned, and an idea came to their minds. This kid is too fierce. 2 spells can directly kill most of the sand beasts. Although the ones killed were only 7th and 8th level sand beasts of the God King, they were still ferocious enough. After all, in the eyes of others, Lin Moyu's own realm is only the 5th level of the God King. For a little guy at the 5th level of the God King to have such combat power is already very rare, and he definitely belongs to the heavenly group. Lin Moyu's behavior stopped the sand beast's attack for at least 2 seconds. The time formation also got a chance to breathe. Lin Moyu felt that he was locked by several powerful souls, and at least 3 Shazing of the divine realm locked him. Yellow sand was flying in front of his eyes, and 3 god-level sand beasts pounced on him at the same time. At the same time, a god-level sand beast sprayed out a yellow beam of light, directly hitting the eye of the undead. The eye of the dead collapsed on the spot. Careful! Go back quickly! Several human gods shouted urgently, but they were firmly held by their opponents and could not separate themselves at all. However, Lin Moyu is only 1 step away from the time formation. He only needs to take a step back to return to the time formation. Lin Moyu, however, remained motionless and had no intention of retreating. He's looking for death. It is impossible for a God King to fight against a god. You are obviously a genius, how could you be so unwise? The human gods all felt sorry. They don't want Lin Moyu to perish. Although there are many geniuses in the human race, who would think there are too many geniuses? It is naturally the best for a genius like Lin Moyu to live well. Ah! Jianshan roared angrily, and the aura in his body surged. He got rid of his opponent in an instant and appeared in front of Lin Moyu in 1 step. 1 shot to break the army. Amidst the angry shouts, a spear appeared in the hand, and the sword danced into a whirlwind, piercing thousands of brilliant rays of light. The light is like an arrow, piercing the sky and penetrating the yellow sand. The three-headed god-level sand beasts that had just rushed over all stepped back to avoid their sharp edges. Go back! Jianshan shouted angrily. Lin Moyu saw a wound on his chest. The injury was serious and the bones were visible. A ball of yellow law wreaked havoc on the wound, making it impossible to heal. This is the law of the sand beast, which is extremely corrosive. Obviously Jianshan paid a price for coming to save himself. Go back! Jianshan roared again, with a hint of anxiety in his voice. It is estimated that in the next second, he will throw Lin Moyu back by himself. Lin Moyu flicked his finger, and a gray and white light fell on Jianshan, and Jianshan's wounds quickly began to recover. The power of death in the law of immortality drives away the law of the sand beast with greater corrosiveness. At the same time, the force of life was treating Jianshan. The god's recovery ability was already very strong, and the wound had recovered in the blink of an eye. Jianshan looked at Lin Moyu in surprise. He didn't expect that Lin Moyu was also proficient in the rules of treatment. But the more this happens, the less we can let him die. If he wanted to say anything else, Jianshan's expression suddenly changed, and Japan's powerful soul locked onto him. The two of them were shrouded in a huge shadow, and an elite sand beast came to kill them. Facing the elite sand beast, Jianshan, who was only at the 3rd level of God King, had no confidence. The only thing he can do now is to throw Lin Moyu back. As for himself, he can't control it anymore. But before he could take action, Lin Moyu had already taken action first. The space is distorted, and the immortal flame appears out of thin air, burning blazingly. A powerful aura emerged, and the Legion rulers appeared on the scene, carrying their legions with them. Death Knight Legion, Skeleton Dragon Legion, the number is difficult to calculate. They densely occupied every corner, and almost in an instant, they had occupied the entire battlefield. Outnumbered, Lin Moyu never loses. The next second, the Legion rulers raised the Law Galaxy above their heads, gathered the power of their respective legions, and struck a fatal blow at the elite sand beast that rushed towards them. The majestic force touched, and the terrible energy exploded on the spot. The sand beasts under the divine realm were knocked away one after another, and the 200 Legion rulers almost flew back collectively. Golden armor talismans flashed and intertwined in the void, and pieces of golden armor overlapped each other, becoming extremely thick. Under this collision, many golden armor talismans were broken on the spot, and only about half of them were still intact. The Legion ruler only has the combat power of the 1st level god, which is far inferior to the elite level Saru. However, they relied on their advantage in numbers and the defensive power of the golden armor talisman to force a head-on collision with the elite sand beast. The scene became weird again. The huge legions that suddenly appeared looked extremely ferocious and terrifying, and their auras were very powerful. The number is even more astonishing, many times more than the sand beasts. Lin Moyu didn't stop. With a thought, the Legion leader came out again. The laws of the galaxy were above their heads, the laws of the legions rolled down, and the legions they belonged to collectively rushed into the laws of the galaxy. At this moment, the combat power of the Legion ruler has been raised to the peak of the 1st level of God. Coupled with the numerical advantage, it can hold off the elite sand beast for at least a while. As for the other sand beasts, Lin Moyu snapped his fingers again. Skeleton gods will appear out of thin air, and their numbers will be staggering. Each of the skeleton generals that appeared was fused with golden armor. As soon as they appeared, they waved their long swords and blasted out sword energy all over the sky. Wuxia Beast was swallowed up by the sword energy. Almost in the blink of an eye, except for 20 god-level sand beasts and 3 elite-level sand beasts, all the other sand beasts in the field were dead. The situation of the battle changed suddenly, and it changed too quickly. By the time we reacted, the situation of the battle had already become like this. The sand beast died and turned into earth-yellow crystals falling to the ground. This is the crystal of the sand beast, and it is also the proof of killing the sand beast. The earth is covered with countless beautiful crystals. Lin Moyu didn't know how many points he earned with this operation. These sand beasts were all killed by Lin Moyu, so the points naturally fell on Lin Moyu. With the Emperor's network here, others could not take them away. In fact, by now, the overall situation has been decided. The skeleton god general summoned by Lin Moyu, plus the legion ruler. Even if you can't defeat the god level and elite level sand beasts, you can at least hold off for a while. At this time, Lin Moyu heard a violent heartbeat ringing in the time array. The heartbeat vibrated like thunder, and the time array was also vibrating. The people hiding in the hall flew out one after another. Their faces were all pale, as if they had experienced something terrible. The face of the human race god changed greatly at the same time. No, the giant yellow sand beast wants to break through the formation and suppress it. The central hall of the time array not only has the ability to control the flow of time, but is also the key to suppressing the giant beasts of the yellow sand. But the formation needs someone to control it. There are gods stationed here all year round just to control the hall and suppress the giant beasts in the yellow sand. Lin Moyu had seen the runes in the main hall and knew the function of the main hall. Seniors, you go back to the main hall to control the formations and suppress the giant beasts in the yellow sand. Leave this to me and I'll hold off the sand beast. Several deities looked at Lin Moyu at the same time, their eyes uncertain, obviously asking, "Can you do it?" Jianshan simply said, "Then I'll leave it to you." This can only be done this way, there is no other calendar. Regardless of whether Lin Moyu can do it or not, they can only choose to believe in Lin Moyu now. The skeleton god will fly out and block the sand beasts for the gods. The skeleton god general intervened in the battle, giving the human god a chance to escape. They quickly returned to the hall and controlled the formation to suppress the heart of the yellow sand beast. The skeleton god general launched a fierce attack on the god-level sand beast. The sword energy falls on the sand beasts and cannot cause any harm to them. At most, it's just a scratch, but the most important thing is not this, but that the skeleton god will tightly surround the sand beasts with an absolute numerical advantage. The power of the skeleton god general is only that of a minor god, and there is still some distance between him and the god. Even with the huge advantage in numbers, it is impossible for Shaxing to be his opponent. There is a big gap between the real god and the minor god. Only some of the top geniuses in the human race can possess the combat power of the god realm when they are in the little god realm. Only a genius among geniuses like Shaxing can achieve the level of a minor god and defeat the god. 2-6. Although the skeleton god general is strong, he is not a genius after all and does not have the ability to fight across borders. If it were placed before, no matter how many skeleton generals there were, it would be impossible to block the sand beasts at the god level. The sand beast can kill hundreds of skeleton generals with one attack. But it's different now. With the golden armor talisman, the skeleton god general's defense has reached the level of a god first. Even if the god wants to break the golden armor talisman, he still needs several attacks. The golden armor talismans of the skeleton god general are superimposed on each other, interlocking with each other, and one layer after another is broken. As a result, the skeleton god general's defense was once again strengthened. Even if you can't defeat the god lord, you can at least delay it for a while. The sand beast sprays yellow sand from its mouth, and every attack is enough to kill the skeleton god in an instant, but every attack is blocked by the golden armor talisman. The golden armor talisman continued to break, and after one layer was broken, there was a new layer. There are only 23 sand beasts left, of which 20 sand beasts are in the divine realm. The highest level is only the third level of divine realm, and their real combat power is not as good as Jianshan. The 3 elite level sand beasts all have the combat power of a god of level 5 or above. This is the biggest headache. Lin Moyu divided the teams. The 200 legion rulers were divided into 3 groups, each surrounding 3 elite-level sand beasts. Outside the legion rulers, there were 100,000 skeleton generals, completely surrounding the battlefield. And each of the 20 god-level sand beasts also enjoyed the siege of 100,000 skeleton god generals. Lin Moyu dispatched more than 2 million skeleton generals. Looking from a distance, you can't see the specific situation in the battlefield at all, you can only see a ball of golden light. Pieces of golden armor can be vaguely discerned. The sand beasts ran rampant in the encirclement, attacking wildly, and the golden armor continued to break. It's just that the golden armor talismans overlapped too much and couldn't be completely broken for a while. The skeleton god general dragged the sand beasts like this, giving them no time to attack in large formations. The heart of the yellow sand beast is still beating violently, and it continues to struggle. But with the control of the god lord, the suppressive power of the hull was fully exerted, and the time formation was not attacked by external forces, and the situation began to stabilize. Lin Moyu looked back at the formation and whispered, "It's time to earn merit in the divine realm. Point your finger a little toward the sky. Stellar level spell, summon the skeleton king." In an instant, the sky became dim and the grey immortal flame began to burn blazingly again, ruling the world. In the flames, the skeleton throne emerged, and the skeleton king sat on it with an awe-inspiring aura. The skeleton king stood up, his bone cloak rustling, and the skeleton throne turned into an exquisite two-handed bone sword and fell into the hands of the skeleton king. Lin Moyu waved a golden armor talisman and landed on the skeleton king. With a buzzing sound, the skeleton king suddenly put on a layer of golden armor. Then an inexplicable aura rose up from Lin Moyu. Original magic, strong soldiers. Strong soldier, fusion degree 150%, consume soul power to enter the strong soldier state. In the strong state, the damage caused by all summons is increased by 10 times. The strong soldier state will continue to consume soul power, and the consumed soul power can be replenished by killing enemies. In the strong soldier state, part of the soul power obtained can be absorbed and retained as one's own strength. However, foreign soul power contains impurities, and it is best to refine and purify it before absorbing it. Strong military skills increase the damage of Skeleton King by 10 times. The Skeleton King, who originally reached the 2nd level of God, now has reached the 3rd level of God's lethality. Coupled with the God-killing sword, it will definitely surprise people. Lin Moyu calculated that if he turned on the powerful military technique alone, he could last at least 10 minutes with his own soul. In 10 minutes, you can do a lot of things. The 10,000-meter-tall Skeleton King appeared in the world with the aura of a god and boundless immortal flames. The immortal flames burned the world, and the Skeleton King locked onto a god-level sand beast, and the sword light lit up. Spell, kill god. The god-slaying sword is the Skeleton King's strongest blow. It ignores the target's defense and kills both the body and the soul. With a sharp roar, the Earth God Realm sand beast collapsed. A bright and huge yellow crystal fell from the sky. The sand beast in the divine realm was instantly killed by the Skeleton King with one sword. Received 10 points of divine city merit. Lin Moyu muttered softly, compared to performing basic tasks in the secret realm, these 10 points of divine city merit are relatively much easier. As he glanced over, each of the sand beasts in the divine realm became achievements of the divine city in his eyes. But he didn't consider the elite sand beast. Even if the elite sand beast stood there, he probably wouldn't be able to kill it. The Skeleton King aimed at the next target, raised the bone sword and killed it. The god-slaying sword has a cooling time, and during this period, the Skeleton King will not be idle. The killing of the divine-level sand beast seemed to trigger a certain switch. The yellow sand beast's heartbeat began to accelerate rapidly, becoming more and more intense. The formation that had just stabilized began to vibrate and tremble again. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. Does this guy want to fight hard? The elite sand beast seemed to have received the order, and at the same time looked up to the sky and roared. They sprayed out yellow beams, and the beams knocked away the legion rulers, blasting through the encirclement surrounded by the skeleton god general. After spraying out the beam, the aura of the elite sand beast weakened rapidly, and in the blink of an eye it fell to the level of the 3rd level god. The elite-level sand beast became an ordinary god-level sand beast. Their body size also becomes smaller. Lin Moyu couldn't understand what they were going to do, but he knew it was definitely not a good thing, and it should be related to the giant yellow sand beast. 2 seconds later, the elite sand beast weakened again. Judging from the breath, only the first level of God 1.5 remained. At this time, the remaining god-level sand beasts also looked up to the sky and roared, spraying out beams of light. The beam of light carried a huge impact, forcefully knocked away the skeleton god general, and shot straight into the sky. While spraying out the beam, the sand's aura also dropped. Suddenly, Lin Moyu felt uneasy in his heart, and irregular energy fluctuations surged on the sand beast. They're going to blow themselves up. When the idea came to him, Lin Moyu immediately wanted to take back the skull god picture without even thinking about it. However, the recovery failed, and the surrounding space was locked by an inexplicable force, making it impossible for the skeleton god to return. It's the power of the yellow sand beast. Lin Moyu's heart trembled wildly, and he suddenly raised his head and looked at the sky. In the sky, a huge yellow eye appeared. The yellow eyes are cold and hateless, staring at me. It feels like looking at a dead person. When Lin Moyu saw the yellow eyes, his heart skipped a beat. These are the eyes of the yellow sand beast. It not only left its heart, but also its eyes. Lin Moyu just took a look and saw that the eyes of the yellow sand beast were not illusory, but real. The eyes of the yellow sand beast swept across the world. The yellow sand on the planet seemed to solidify, and Lin Moyu felt like he was stuck in a quagmire, making it extremely difficult to move. Not only was he having difficulty moving, the skeleton god general, the legion rulers, and even the skeleton king were all stuck in the quagmire. Powerful forces surged in from all directions, trapping them firmly. This is either an abnormal state or a simple power blockade. Even if there is a state immunity spell, it will have no effect. The eyes of a giant beast from the other side can actually reach this point. If it were resurrected, what would it be like? It is estimated that one look can kill him. Lin Moyu has a new understanding of the powerful people in the other side realm. If the god is like a leap to the god king, then the other side realm is like a flight to the god, and it is the kind of flying very far. The energy fluctuations became more and more chaotic, and the sand beast was about to explode. Move, move. Lin Moyu's body stirred up the majestic power of soul. The eyes of the soul opened, purple light filled the whole body, and the power of the soul began to interfere with reality. The soul shooting bow appears above the head, soul power is injected into it, and the arrow is condensed into purple arrows. A ray of purple light flashed across and shot out of the yellow sand beast's eyes. A sharp cry sounded in the ears. The eyes of the yellow sand giant beast contained the soul of the yellow sand giant beast, but it was not the complete soul, only a part. Being attacked by the soul-shooting bow, his soul was damaged. Lin Moyu felt light all over, and the blockade disappeared instantly. Seizing the opportunity, Lin Moyu took a step back and instantly retreated into the formation. The skeleton god generals and legion rulers also retreated one after another. They were not taken back. Instead, they stood outside the formation and enveloped the entire time formation. Golden armor is layered on top of each other to form the first line of defense. The energy fluctuation reaches the limit, and self-destruction is about to occur. From the moment the elite sand beast erupted with a beam of light, it lasted no more than 2 seconds until now. All changes happen in an instant. Lin Moyu has reached his limit and can only resign himself to fate. Boom! The sound of the explosion was isolated by the formation, but the power of the self-destruction could still be felt. Yellow sand rose into the sky, and countless yellow sand rose into the sky in the explosion. The earth sank, revealing the planet's true surface, a slightly white rock. If it were not covered with yellow sand, this planet should be a gray-white planet. The force of the self-destruction struck, and the golden armor bore the brunt and shattered. Layers of armor burst apart under the impact of the explosion, followed by the undead army behind the armor. Without the protection of the golden armor talisman, the skeleton god general was blown to pieces, and a large number of skeleton god generals died in an instant. But in the next moment, the skeleton god will be reborn again and bear the explosion again. The self-destruction of a god is extremely terrifying. If a god self-destructs in a galaxy, it is enough to blow up the entire galaxy. Its power far exceeds the self-explosion of a star. Now more than 20 gods have collectively self-destructed, and the power is even more unimaginable. If the planet under your feet had not been transformed by the power of the other realm, it would have been shattered long ago. The force of the explosion rushed out of the planet, and there was also yellow sand flowing in the galaxy, which was all scattered by the explosion at this moment. The explosion lasted for a minute, and the energy began to weaken and dissipate. The skeleton god general is still surrounded by the formation. Except for the disappearance of the golden armor, nothing else seems to have changed. As the master, Lin Moyu can clearly feel that almost every skeleton general has died 2 or 3 times. After being blown up, he was resurrected by immortal magic. In the explosion, the skeleton god general acted as the flesh and blocked most of the impact of the time array. It also left the time formation intact in the self-destruction of the sand beast. Yellow sand was flying in the air, and Lin Moyu didn't feel relieved at all. The yellow sand beast's eyes have glanced over again. At this moment, a layer of film appeared in its eyes, like an extra piece of armor. Lin Moyu knew that if he was prepared, his rapid-fire bow would no longer be useful. The beams of light emitted by the sand beast before converged in the air, and then merged into the eyes of the yellow sand beast. The aura in the eyes quickly intensified, and countless yellow sand gathered around the eyes. It first grew a head, then a neck, body, and limbs. Finally, on the forehead and above the one eye, a sharp and long horn grew, which looked similar to a cow's horn. A huge unicorn beast appeared in the sky. This is the yellow sand beast. The eyes of the yellow sand beast gathered the power of the beam and condensed the yellow sand into a body. It is said that the yellow sand originally belonged to the yellow sand giant beast, and was the flesh and blood of the yellow sand giant beast. Now it can reassemble its body without any problems. However, Lin Moyu also knew that the yellow river beast in front of him was not a complete body. It just has the shape of a giant yellow sand beast, and its strength is far inferior to that of the yellow sand giant beast in the other shore realm. The giant yellow sand beast in the sky roared, its horn flashed with yellow light, and its aura became stronger and stronger. In the blink of an eye, its aura has reached the 9th level of God, and it is only 1 step away from the true peak of God. A law galaxy appeared in the sky, and yellow sand was also rolling in the law galaxy, as if there were countless sandstorms taking place. Since the yellow sand beast condensed, the beating of the heart became intense again, and the hall began to shake and shake again. It can't wait to escape the suppression and return to its own body. As long as his heart returns, he can truly be resurrected. The constant vibration of the heart put great pressure on the gods. They tried their best to control the formation and suppress it. They couldn't take action, and the only one who could take action was Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's mouth was a little bitter. Looks like I'm going to fight hard. Step out of the formation and point your finger. The non-hug flames burned again, and yellow sand flew into the flames, just like water was poured into the cave, making a crackling sound. The skeleton throne, the skeleton king, appears. The skeleton king had been killed in the self-destruction of the sand beast just now. But it doesn't matter much. If it's killed by the bomb, then call another one. As soon as the skeleton king appeared, the giant yellow sand beast looked over. There was a trace of disdain in the cold and ruthless eyes. A flash of yellow light flashed past the sharp corner, and a streak of yellow lightning flashed across. The skeleton king had no time to dodge and was hit squarely. With a bang, the skeleton king collapsed completely and was instantly killed on the spot, unable to stop him at all. Is the difference so big? Lin Moyu was a little helpless. The power of the 9th level god was too strong, and the skeleton king could not stop it at all. If you can't do it alone, just rely on quantity, just like before. The Legion rulers were the first to bear the brunt. The log galaxy flashed, and tens of thousands of Death Knights and skeletal dragons flew out of the log galaxy. The Undead Army occupied all the space in an instant, and the yellow sand beast was heavily surrounded. You can't beat him anyway, Lin Moyu knows very well, and all he can do now is delay. Delay until reinforcements arrive. The giant yellow sand beast roared, and bright yellow lightning shot out from its sharp horns. Bright yellow lightning was scurrying among the undead army, and it was extremely powerful. Even if the damage was reduced tens of millions of times, it still exceeded the limit of equal damage sharing. Talent loses its effect in the face of yellow lightning. Whether it is a Death Knight or a skeletal dragon, as long as it touches the bright yellow lightning, it will collapse in an instant. The power of lightning is too great and cannot be stopped. And the most troublesome thing is that lightning will automatically find the next target, and after defeating one target, it will quickly move to the next target. Lightning is extremely fast, comparable to the speed of light. Before the previous one collapsed, the lightning had already attacked the next target. By the time the first target collapsed, the lightning had passed through hundreds or thousands of targets. Looking from a distance, a bright yellow chain appeared in the undead army. The chain was composed of the afterimage of lightning. In less than a second, more than tens of thousands of undead legions were killed. Strong attack, there seems to be a trace of the power of rules in it. It is worthy of being a starry sky beast in the other side. Lin Moyu looked at this scene and knew that he could not stop it. Now we can only rely on our numerical advantage to delay. As for how long it could be delayed, he wasn't sure. He calculated the time and found that the Patriot army would arrive in 40 minutes. No matter what, he had to delay these 40 minutes. The sharp horn of the yellow sand beast lit up again, and another bolt of lightning flew out. 2 bolts of lightning raged through the undead army, and the killing speed doubled. Lin Moyu had a bad premonition in his heart. If it was just a flash of lightning, he was not worried. He has enough undead legions for the opponent to kill. 2 lightning bolts are also acceptable. If there is a third, fourth lightning, no matter how many undead legions he has, they are not enough to kill the other party. And if it doesn't work, the yellow sand beast has other methods. The starry sky beast in the other side is so scary even with one eye. We can't sit still and wait for death, we must turn passivity into initiative. There are still 40 minutes left, we have to put it off no matter what. Lin Moyu knew his goal very well and delayed for 40 minutes. But he also knew very well that with his own fighting power, it was impossible to fight against the yellow sand beast. It may be possible to drag it through with the advantage of quantity, but it is not completely safe. If the lightning continues to increase, no matter how many undead legions there are, they will not be enough to kill. Once the number of undead legions is not enough to surround the yellow sand behemoth, and the yellow sand behemoth rushes out, it will be in danger. All possibilities must be taken into consideration. Lin Moyu had a headache and realized that this was an extremely difficult battle. The yellow sand monster has considerable wisdom and is fully prepared. If it hadn't suddenly burst out by itself, it would have escaped by now. He has become a variable, but it seems that the yellow sand beast will not give up easily. The battle has reached this level, and it is a life or death battle for the giant yellow sand beast. If it fails and the human race comes to the other side, it will have no chance to escape. Lin Moyu can imagine that both sides have reasons why they cannot fail, and their will is extremely firm. In this case, we can only fight to the end. He quickly compiled a set of combat methods in his mind, and at the same time, the undead lich appeared beside him. A grey halo appeared under the feet of all the undead, giving them another chance to be resurrected. Just as Lin Moyu was thinking for a few seconds, the sharp horn of the yellow sand beast shot out another bolt of lightning. 3 bright yellow lightnings raged among the undead legions, and a large number of undead legions were killed every moment. The undead legion closest to the yellow sand behemoth has died several times, surpassing the chance of resurrection brought by the undead and undead lich. They truly die and cannot be resurrected. Death Knights and Skeleton Dragons were the first to bear the brunt, and their positions after death were quickly filled by those who came after them. The Undead Army is still tightly surrounding the Yellow Sand Beast, and he must not be allowed to break out. The Skeleton God will be dispersed and transformed into 3 basic skeletons again. Here, the combat power of the Skeleton God General has no effect. What Lin Moyu needs is quantity, the more quantity. Lin Moyu was in the void, and brand new skeleton dragons and death knights appeared in the void. The number of dead skeleton dragons and death knights has exceeded 500,000 and needs to be replenished. When the spell linkage is activated, Lin Moyu only needs to be summoned once. Before the summon quota is used up, the summons will continue without it being involved. However, the speed of summoning is far less than the speed at which the Undead Army is killed. I can only say that it is better than not calling. Using the Undead Army as a human shield to block the Yellow Sand monster is only the first step. Then Lin Moyu started the second step. He took out a piece of flesh and blood, which was the flesh and blood from the Sannin clan deity. It is also his only share of the divine flesh and blood. Although I know it is of little use, those words are still better than nothing. Locking on the giant Yellow Sand Beast, pointing out, red light fills the air. Fusion spell, Curse of Time. The curse was activated, and the Yellow Sand Beast didn't feel much. At its soul level, the curse is not very effective. Lin Moyu naturally knew that he just wanted to increase some damage, even just a little. Then the light flashed on the finger, and the original spell was, Strong Soldier. Lin Moyu activated the original spell again, increasing his damage by an additional 10 times. Stellar level magic, Corpse Explosion. The flesh and blood in his hands turned into ashes, and the corpse was detonated. It was equivalent to a full-strength blow from the Sannin tribe deity during his lifetime, and its power was 10 times stronger. The power of this blow has almost reached the 4th level of a god. But facing the giant beast in the yellow sand, it was still not enough. During the violent explosion, the giant yellow sand beast remained motionless, with only some yellow sand falling off its body, that's all. The explosion of the corpse does not have much effect. This result is expected and not unexpected. Just when Lin Moyu launched his attack, Huang Shachenman shot out a bolt of lightning again. 4 bolts of lightning kept flying, and the damage speed of the Undead Army increased again. Lin Moyu's face was expressionless, and the soul-shooting bow appeared above his head. This time with the blessing of Strong Soldier status, the damage of the soul-shooting bow will also be increased by 10 times. Not only that, Lin Moyu shouted softly and activated another original spell, Gathering Strength. His aura rose sharply, and he quickly broke through the Divine Lord, and then the Divine Lord reached the 1st level, the 2nd level, and even the 3rd level. Breaking through the 3rd level of the Supreme God is also Lin Moyu's limit. Lin Moyu knew that if he dared to break through the 4th level of the God Lord, his soul would collapse instantly. The soul power of the 3rd level God was injected into the soul-shooting bow, and a purple-gold sharp arrow condensed on the soul-shooting bow. The sharp arrows exuded a compelling aura, and the powerful soul pressure permeated the entire place, making it difficult for even the formation to withstand. The God Kings in the formation were all silent for eternity. Lin Moyu's power has long exceeded their imagination and is beyond their understanding. Is this really something a God King can do? God King and God of War, I must be dreaming. How did he do it? How could he be so powerful? Unprecedented. Lin Moyu had no idea about their size. At this moment, all his energy were poured into the arrow. Through the original magic, the realm has been raised to the limit. Inject as much soul power into the soul-shooting bow as possible, and condense the strongest arrow. The soul realm of the other shore realm, the soul power of the 3rd level of the god, and the 10 times damage increase of the original spell. Taken together, even a powerful person of the 5th level of God will be instantly killed by this arrow. But this is not enough, this is not the final appearance of this arrow. The power of faith rolls out, and you invest it as if you don't need money. The most magical thing about the power of faith is that it can amplify any spell, any law, and any attack. When 10,000 pieces of the power of faith are put into it, the power of the soul arrow doubles again. When 30,000 pieces of the power of faith are invested in it, the power of the soul arrow has tripled. When all 60,000 pieces of the power of faith are put into it, the power of the soul arrow increases threefold. The greater the increase, the more power of faith is required. 60,000 copies of the power of faith made the soul arrow at least 3 times stronger. Moreover, the increase is calculated based on the increase of the original spell. The purple gold soul arrow became more dazzling. Looking at the soul arrow, it felt like looking directly at the stars at close range. The golden lines on it are extremely beautiful, and at the same time exude a chilling air. 103, but this is still not the end. Lin Moyu drew runes in the air, and he drew complex high-level runes one by one. Soul-killing talisman. A high-level rune recorded in rules targets the soul and can cause powerful damage to the soul. It can be used alone or attached to any kind of soul attack. The runes flew into the soul arrow, and the golden lines on the soul arrow seemed to be alive, and the murderous aura was even stronger. In the formation, several god kings who were looking at Lin Moyu screamed in agony. All of them hugged their heads and screamed, closing their eyes tightly, with blood flowing from their eyes. They looked frightened and did not dare to see Lin Moyu again. What kind of arrow is this? It's so scary. Just looking at it, I felt like my soul was going to be pierced. This arrow is so terrifying, even a god can be easily killed. He is obviously only at the 5th level of God King. How could he gather such terrifying arrow power? He used the soul magic weapon of the divine realm, and added the power of faith. Not only that, he also added runes. I think they are high-level runes. The soul magic weapon that can activate the realm of gods, his soul, is at least the 4th level. As long as this guy doesn't die, it will be easy to become a god. The God Kings present all completely admired Lin Moyu at this moment. He has a powerful soul, powerful spells, powerful magic weapons, and he can also rune, which is an amazing power of faith. Lin Moyu's performance is almost perfect. Such a person's future achievements will be limitless, and they are simply not comparable to them. None of the God Kings or little gods present could be jealous of Lin Moyu. Because Lin Moyu has completely surpassed them, I can't be jealous even if I want to. The powerful soul arrow is truly condensed and formed, which can be said to be Lin Moyu's strongest blow. If this attack doesn't work, Lin Moyu will have no other options. The soul locked the giant yellow sand beast. Under the siege of the Undead Army, regardless of the cost and life and death, the yellow sand giant beast was firmly trapped and unable to escape. The 5th lightning appeared, and the 5 bright yellow lightnings raged together, and countless undead legions died every second. But then more undead legions will come forward, leaving absolutely no space. The yellow sand beast is covered with fearless skeletons. Although their attacks had no effect, the attacks continued and fell like raindrops. Even if I can't kill you, I still want to let you know what pain is. Lin Moyu pointed a finger, and the hell would fall and cover the yellow sand beast. Bright yellow lightning raged in the bone hell, and in less than half a second, the bone hell was penetrated. But it doesn't matter, all Lin Moyu wants is a mark. The bone hell marked the yellow sand beast, and its soul was locked accordingly. In this way, the arrow from the soul-shooting bow will definitely hit. The giant yellow sand beast seemed to feel threatened, with uneasiness in its eyes. Purple gold light cuts through the void, penetrates the yellow sand beast, and pierces into the soul. Earth-shaking screams resounded throughout the galaxy. The yellow sand that was constantly flowing throughout the galaxy suddenly came to a standstill. This arrow was too strong and fierce, and Lin Moyu used all his trump cards, making this arrow enough to kill a 6th-level cultivator of the God Lord. As long as the soul does not reach the other side, it will be injured or even killed by this arrow. The giant yellow sand beast was once a giant beast in the other shore realm, and its soul was undoubtedly that of the other shore realm. In its heyday, it could completely ignore Lin Moyu's arrow. But it doesn't work now. Today's yellow sand behemoth is no longer what it once was, and its soul is just a remnant. This arrow caused enough damage to it, making it extremely painful, and its aura also declined instantly. Bright yellow lightning stopped in mid-air, and 2 of the 5 lightning bolts were shattered on the spot. The other 3 stopped attacking and were shining in mid-air. Efficient. Lin Moyu was overjoyed and said, "I'll come back to get it again." His aura instantly increased, breaking through to the 4th level of God. Then the soul suddenly collapsed, the talent tree swayed, the talent was activated, and Lin Moyu instantly completed the reorganization of his soul in the purple light and returned to the top. Take the initiative to seek death once and refill your soul power. Lin Moyu did not hesitate to use the original magic again, and once again brought himself back to the 3rd level of God. Following the same pattern, the 2nd soul arrow appeared in the soul-shooting bow. Lin Moyu drew the soul-killing talisman and blessed it on the soul arrow. Unfortunately, this time without the power of faith, this arrow was not as powerful as the previous one. But again, the giant yellow sand beast is already injured at this moment, and it is not as good as before. The purple gold soul arrow pierced the void again and directly hit the soul of the yellow sand beast. There was another scream, and the aura of the yellow sand beast became weaker. 2 more of the 3 remaining lightning bolts were broken, and now only 1 was left. Lin Moyu took a deep breath. At this point, he had no way out. If he wanted to kill, he would fight to the end. Lin Moyu once again raised his level and took the initiative to self-destruct his soul. The talent was activated again, resurrecting Lin Moyu for the 2nd time. Since refining the immortal tree sapling, there has been 1 more chance of resurrection. You can resurrect twice every 30 seconds. 30 seconds after the last resurrection, the talent will be reset and you will have 2 opportunities to resurrect again. The ability to resurrect is generally only used when desperate. But now, in order to repel the giant beast of the yellow sand, Lin Moyu resolutely used it. He is really working hard and going through obstacles. In the original spell, Lin Moyu's aura was once again upgraded to the 3rd level of God. The soul-shooting bow recondenses the soul arrow. The eyes of the yellow sand beast penetrated the heavily surrounded army of undead and saw Lin Moyu. Its eyes are full of anger and hatred. But so what, Lin Moyu doesn't care at all. The soul arrow took shape on the soul-shooting bow, and the yellow river beast roared violently. All the yellow sand on the planet rolled up, and the entire planet was enveloped by a sandstorm. The giant yellow sand beast exploded into pieces, and one of its eyes flew into the sandstorm and disappeared. Escaped? You can't escape. The soul arrow flashed a purple light and disappeared into the void. The giant yellow sand beast escaped, its body was gone, and only its one eye escaped. The yellow sand covered the sky and the sun, and it abandoned its huge size. Not even the Undead Army could stop it. But the soul lock still exists, and the mark still hasn't disappeared. Lin Moyu still locked its soul firmly and shot the 3rd arrow. The soul arrow traveled through the void, leaving only a trace of purple light and disappearing. A scream resounded throughout the galaxy again, and could be heard even in the formation. Lin Moyu breathed a sigh of relief, finally arriving. Rather than delaying time, it would be better to beat it away. Suddenly, Lin Moyu stood on his head with cold hair, and a severe warning came from his soul. The giant tree of talent keeps swaying, and the colorful dragon soul crystals are also roaring. Danger! Mortal danger! The soul heard the fierce heartbeat of the yellow sand beast, and then bright yellow lightning appeared in front of its eyes. Of the 5 lightning bolts, 4 collapsed, and the last one still existed. The eyes of the yellow sand beast escaped, but the lightning did not disappear and still stopped in midair. At this moment, with the beating of the yellow sand beast's heart, lightning suddenly started, penetrating through each skeleton, and lasing in front of Lin Moyu's eyes. Too careless. Lin Moyu quickly retreated without thinking, and a large number of skeletons appeared in front of him, acting as human shields to resist the lightning. The skeleton was penetrated by lightning and collapsed on the spot. But lightning didn't seem to be affected and quickly approached Lin Moyu. The power of lightning is too strong, and the skeleton can't block it at all. The human shield tactics he is good at are useless. This lightning carries the power of rules, and its attack power reaches at least the 8th level of a god, or even higher. The skeleton couldn't stop it, and he couldn't stop it either. As long as you are hit, you will definitely die. The number of resurrections for the talent has been exhausted. Even if there is still a chance for resurrection, it will most likely not be effective. Based on the previous performance of bright yellow lightning, it can be attacked repeatedly. Skeletons are killed over and over again, and even if they are resurrected, they will be killed again. At the moment of life and death, Lin Moyu's thoughts were racing, thinking about all possible ways to save himself. The next second, the natural disaster scepter appeared in his hand. Lin Moyu knows very well that only the power of natural disaster can block the bright yellow lightning. He is currently unable to exert the true power of the natural disaster scepter, but there is no problem in using it as a stick. Seeing the lightning coming in front of him, Lin Moyu waved the natural disaster scepter without hesitation and collided with the lightning. Boom! There was a loud noise and lightning exploded. Yellow fills the vision, and nothing else can be seen. Lin Moyu was blown away by an unimaginable force. He flew directly out of the planet, flew tens of thousands of kilometers, and came to the galaxy. Looking at the yellow sand flowing slowly like a river of stars around him, Lin Moyu felt joy in his heart. He didn't die, he really blocked the lightning. Looking at the natural disaster scepter again, there is not even a mark on it. The strength of the natural disaster scepter completely exceeded expectations. This also shows that the level of natural disaster rights is ridiculous. Putting away the natural disaster scepter, Lin Moyu flew back again. The sandstorm on the planet continues, lightning explodes, and the majestic force lifts the yellow sand of the planet into the starry sky. Even the yellow sand under the time formation was swept away, revealing the real ground. Now the whole star is pale. Without the yellow sand covering it, Lin Moyu finally saw the formation clearly. The time formation is actually a circular formation. On the surface of the formation, the time room and the control hall are all built on a disk. The disk is the formation disk, responsible for carrying the formation. Below the formation, a huge yellow heart is beating. Every time it beats, what bursts out is not blood, but yellow sand. It's not ordinary yellow sand, it's yellow sand that contains extremely strong energy. The formation refined the yellow sand bursting out of the heart, obtained individual yellow crystals, and then transferred the useless yellow sand out. I don't know how many years ago, the heart of the majestic starry sky beast in the other side realm has been used as a material collector. It keeps beating, and the formations keep refining and collecting. I have to say, it is indeed sad. Lin Moyu returned, and the yellow sand beast's heart beat significantly faster. There is an angry emotion conveyed from it, but it has left Lin Moyu helpless. The formation suppressed him firmly. This time his escape failed, and he would never have another chance. The other side of the human race must have disappeared, maybe it is coming. When the formation is strengthened, it will be suppressed here for tens of millions of years. Even the one-eyed one who escaped would be found and killed. The crisis has been resolved, but the Undead Army still exists. He will not take back the Undead Army until the human race's reinforcements arrive. It's okay to relax, but not slack off. Accidents often come when you relax. Lin Moyu began to review the previous battle. He and the eyes of the giant yellow sand beast met for less than a minute, especially when he shot 3 arrows in a row. The whole process took less than 5 seconds. The battle was very fierce, and every second was a struggle. Lin Moyu realized that when facing a truly powerful person, all methods are useless. Everything still depends on strength. If it weren't for the fact that the giant yellow sand beast had only eyes and his realm plummeted, he would have died. He thought of what Bai Yuan once said, the big fist is the last word, everything else is false. In fact, this is indeed the case, whether in the big world or the small world, the reality is so cruel. In addition to realizing that his fist was not strong enough, Lin Moyu also felt the power of faith. Without the power of faith, the first arrow would not be able to cause enough damage to the remaining soul of the yellow sand beast. Then the next 2 arrows may not scare him away. However, the power of belief also has limitations, its quantity is limited, and it has marginal effects. The greater the increase you want, the amount of power of faith consumed will increase exponentially. The power of 10,000 beliefs can be doubled. If you want to double the increase, you need 30,000 pieces of faith. If you want to triple the increase, you need 60,000 faith calendars. If you want to increase it 4 times or 5 times, the power of faith required will increase significantly. As far as Lin Moyu knows, after the increase reaches 10 times, the power of faith required will increase exponentially. And the stronger the attack itself, the more power of faith is required. Lin Moyu knew very well that the attack power of the soul arrow that he had condensed with all his strength was only at the level of the 4th to 5th level of the soul. If it were an attack from the other side realm, and 60,000 copies of the power of faith were invested, I'm afraid it wouldn't even double the increase. 60,000 copies of the power of faith, at the current collection speed, would require a full 600 gifts. Collection speed is extremely slow. The power of faith is really too much. It's no wonder that those big guys from the other side want to build towers of faith across the entire star field. Their spells and the requirements for the power of faith are probably astronomical. After reviewing the entire battle, Lin Moyu felt that he had done a remarkable job and there were not many omissions. Only the last lightning strike was that I was too careless and had to correct myself in the future. Time passed little by little, and the heartbeat of the yellow sand beast became slower and slower, becoming calmer. 30 minutes later, a majestic aura suddenly descended and enveloped the entire galaxy. The sudden breath was very gentle and did not carry a strong pressure. Just as the breath came, the heartbeat of the yellow sand beast calmed down instantly, and all the yellow sand flying in the sky fell back to the ground at this moment. It's like an invisible big hand, soothing all the restlessness. Lin Moyu looked towards the sky, looking across the starry sky, and saw a strong man coming through the sky. 1 second he was outside the galaxy, and 1 step later he was on the planet. The other shore realm is indeed here. Lin Moyu was not surprised, he had already thought before that there might be strong men from the other side coming. The next second, a middle-aged man with an ordinary appearance and nothing out of the ordinary appeared on the time formation. He stretched out his hand and pressed lightly on the formation, and the entire formation suddenly roared. Accompanied by an unwilling soul's voice, the heartbeat disappeared, and the sand giant was completely suppressed. The power of rules. 880 Lin Moyu muttered silently in his heart, and he could clearly feel the changes in the rules. Even the law of time was stagnant at that moment. The law of time is already the first echelon law, and the only thing that can affect it is the power of the rules of the other side realm. Lin Moyu knew that the other party had used the power of rules, but he didn't know how he did it. After all, I am not yet in the other side state. I just know what it is, but I don't know why it is. Some things can never be understood until the state of mind is reached. Several gods flew out of the hall one after another, leaving the time formation. At the same time, they saluted the middle-aged man. I have met you, sir. The middle-aged man hummed and said calmly, thank you for your hard work. Several people shook their heads quickly. It's not hard, this is what we should do. Jianshan said, fortunately, this little friend helped me this time, otherwise things would have been troublesome. Although they didn't know what was happening outside after entering the hall. But if you think about it with your head, you know that Lin Moyu must have blocked those sand beasts. The faces of the elders of the gods were a little hot. They didn't expect that they would end up relying on a junior in the God King realm. It was really embarrassing for the gods. The middle-aged man looked at Lin Moyu and said, I probably know what happened, and you were also lucky enough to meet Lin Moyu here. Then he looked at Lin Moyu and said, "Little friend Lin, can you come over and talk?" The two sentences, before and after, have completely different tone. When speaking to the deity, his tone was calm and calm, revealing a touch of majesty. Maintain the attitude that a big man from the other side should have. But when speaking to Lin Moyu, his tone suddenly softened. It doesn't look like the attitude a person from the other shore realm should have towards the God King realm at all, more like a friendship between equals. Lin Moyu naturally would not refuse. The seniors have their orders, and the juniors are quite obedient. The middle-aged man laughed and said, "Then let's go up there." As he spoke, he flew straight up, and Lin Moyu followed immediately. In a blink of an eye, the two of them had arrived at the Minister of the Starry Sky. Seeing the two people leaving, several gods were in a daze. "Did you hear that I called him Lin Xiaoyu just now? Looking at your posture, you seem to be on equal terms with this little brother. It feels a bit unreal for the adults to interact with a God King equal. This Lin Shenwang is very powerful, no weaker than us. Maybe it's because of such a top talent that you are willing to lower your profile." Several people knew the identity of the middle-aged man. It was a bit unbelievable to think that a big shot in the other side realm was the same generation as the God King. The other shore realm is a truly top existence, and its status is so noble. Jianshan suddenly frowned and said, "Recently, a junior named Lin Moyu has cleared 3 secret realms in a row. What do you think?" Lin Moyu's surname is Lin, and Lin Yu's surname is also Lin. After Jianshan said this, it was right. It's him, no wonder. A genius who can clear 3 secret realms is amazing. That's right. If one day he can reach the other side, that would be amazing. Several people lamented that after living for so many years, they had seen many geniuses. Even they themselves, when they were young, belonged to the heavenly group. But compared with Lin Moyu, both myself and other people I have met pale in comparison. In the starry sky, the middle-aged man looked at Lin Moyu with a smile on his face. Lin Xiaoyu is indeed a young and talented young man. With the level of God King, he can stand alone against the sand beast. I am afraid that there will be no one in the whole world who can compare with Xiaoyu. Lin Moyu was very modest. The seniors deserved the award, but the juniors were just lucky. The middle-aged man has a very good attitude. Strength is strength, no luck. My surname is Song, and my single name is the word Jia. Lin Xiaoyu's soul has reached the other shore, and it can be regarded as half of the other shore. We can be the same generation. Lin Moyu said, "What will Senior Song do next?" Song Jia whispered, "It's nothing more than strengthening the formation to prevent this from happening again." Lin Moyu looked a little strange. The eyes of the yellow sand beast escaped, and its remnant soul is contained in it. Doesn't Senior Song intend to find it out? As long as the eyes of the yellow sand beast are still outside, things like today are still possible. If someone else dared to say that, Song Jia would definitely say, "I want you to teach me how to do things." But when Lin Moyu said this, Song Jia laughed and said, "Little friend Lin doesn't know something. It's not that he doesn't look for it, but that he can't find it. It's not difficult to find it. You also know that there are people on the internet and it has nowhere to escape." Lin Moyu nodded. Indeed, under the surveillance of the Human Emperor Network, no matter how well the other party hides, they can always be found. In this case, there must be other reasons for these big guys from the other side realm to let this happen. Song Jia explained, when the giant beast in the yellow sand was killed, its body and soul were split into 2, with half of the eyes and half of the heart. In this way, the yellow sand giant retains the possibility of resurrection. If we kill its eyes and only half of the soul in its heart is left, then it will never be possible for it to be resurrected. Lin Moyu suddenly realized something. If there is no possibility of resurrection, then the yellow sand beast may choose to self-destruct. I've been refining something in the observation formation. Is it because of it? Song Jia once again praised, "Little friend Lin is really smart. The yellow sand beast is a starry sky beast in the other side of the world. Its heart will continuously produce the power of rules. We use the formation to convert the rules it produces power is refined into regular crystals. You will naturally know the specific function when you reach the other side in the future. Lin Moyu hummed, knowing this information was enough. If Song Jia explained to him what the power of rules was, he would definitely not understand it, so there was no need to know. Some things cannot be understood by explanation and need to be understood by oneself. Song Jia said, "Little friend Lin has made a great contribution this time, otherwise the human race would have suffered countless casualties. According to the rules of the human race, a reward will be given to the little friend. I don't know what my little friend needs. As long as it's within the rules, I can provide it." Lin Moyu knew that what he had done this time was equivalent to saving countless lives. A disaster was also avoided, and it was inevitable to get some rewards. Generally speaking, this kind of reward is only for meritorious service in the Divine City. I didn't expect that there would be a choice. In Lin Moyu's speculation, both Renhuang Network and Bianjing are quite powerful entities. Especially Renhuang Network, they act according to the rules, reward for meritorious deeds and punish for transgressions. You could call it selfless. Even in the other side realm, you can only maneuver a little within the rules, but cannot violate the rules. The rewards of the Human Emperor Network are basically the merits of the Divine City. If you have any other needs, use the Divine City merit to redeem it. But now according to Song Jia's words, in addition to the merits of the Divine City, he can also choose some other things. Selecting the prize directly is equivalent to skipping the step of redeeming the merits of the Divine City. Moreover, Song Jia also implicitly expressed that it would be more cost-effective to directly select the prize. Lin Moyu thought for a while before speaking, juniors don't know what to choose, so why don't seniors help juniors choose? Song Jia looked at Lin Moyu with a smile. Lin Moyu was throwing the problem back to him. As a dignified senior from the other side realm, I can't just pick some useless garbage. But if you pick 29, which is too good, it will also violate the rules of Renhuang Network. But it doesn't matter, he can give it to Lin Moyu in his personal name, just like making friends with Lin Moyu, a genius. When Lin Moyu was watched by Song Jia, her face did not turn red and her heart did not beat. She gave full play to her thick-skinned advantage. Song Jia chuckled, "Since you let me decide, then so be it. You still need the reward of the Divine City merit. After all, you are only at the junior level now, and you still need the Divine City merit to upgrade your level. Mrs. Jade gave you the soul-shooting bow, and you have no shortage of soul magic weapons. In terms of attack, focus on refinement and strength, not too much, and you don't need other attack techniques. In terms of defense, you have so many summons, it is almost impossible for people of the same level to hurt you. Then let's pick some auxiliary things." Song Jia talked to himself and quickly made a decision. Lin Moyu listened carefully, no matter what Song Jia chose, he would not object. Song Jia would only give him more, not less, and it would definitely be the limit that he could give within the rules. Song Jia closed his eyes and communicated with Renhuang Network. After a few seconds, the voice of Renhuang Network sounded in his ears. "Because you repelled the yellow sand behemoth, prevented the yellow sand behemoth from resurrecting, and allowed the nearby star system to survive, you will be specially rewarded with 2,000 points of Divine City merit. Kill the God-level sand beast and obtain 10 points of Divine City merit. Kill 50,000 God King Realm sand beasts to gain 50 million points. Kill 500 little God Realm sand beasts and get 5 million points." After receiving a series of rewards, Lin Moyu already felt that he was not at a loss this time. He had known for a long time that the Human Emperor Network would not miss a single one, and the sand beasts he killed would eventually be rewarded to him as points. Sure enough, he suddenly gained 55 million points, and his points exceeded 100 million again. Finally got some points again. Lin Moyu felt that his pocket was bulging a little more, and he finally had some money. At least it's enough for the time room. The Divine City merit has also reached 5,390 points, which is not far from the intermediate level. As for the task of being promoted to the intermediate level, Lin Moyu never worried. Song Jia looked at the change in Lin Moyu's expression and said with a smile, "Have you received the reward?" Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Thank you, senior, I have received it." "Then let's continue. For the second reward, I'll jump the Tower of Faith for you." Lin Moyu was slightly startled. Tower of Faith? Can this be considered a reward? You can set up the Faith Array by yourself, which is no different from the Faith Tower. However, he didn't say anything, but waited for Song Jia to explain further. Song Jia said, "You are already qualified to build a Faith Tower and receive the power of faith. As a reward, I have chosen 10 galaxies for you, and the power of faith in these 10 galaxies will be yours. 10 galaxies can provide you with approximately 100 pieces of faith power every day. As for the refining matter, you can figure it out yourself." After listening to Song Jia's explanation, Lin Moyu realized that the so-called reward belief tower actually meant this. Allocate 10 galaxies to yourself, and you can get 100 power of faith every day. In addition to the power of faith gained by yourself, you can gain 200 power of faith every day. Everyone who has used the power of faith knows how useful it is. Just look at the towers of faith arranged in every galaxy, every planet, and every city in the other realm, and you will know how much the big guys in the other realm need the power of faith. I only got 10 galaxies. How many galaxies each of those big guys in the other side have, how much power of faith they gain every day? A rough calculation shows that it is an astonishing number. Even with Lin Moyu's temperament, a trace of envy is inevitable in his heart. If I had so much faith, I might have been able to kill the remaining soul of the giant beast in the yellow sand with one arrow. Song Jia saw Lin Moyu's thoughts, squinted his eyes, and said with a smile, "You don't have to think too much. In the future, you will have more and more belief towers. 10 galaxies are nothing, even 10,000 galaxies it's nothing. But if you want to have more faith towers, you should know what to do." Lin Moyu naturally knows that it is nothing more than improving his strength and making contributions to the human race. The human race is like this, with clear rewards and punishments. If you want to get something, pay first. It's very fair. Getting something for nothing almost does not exist in the human race. Song Jia said, "The third reward is given to you personally by me." As he spoke, he took out a piece of jade. When the jade piece appeared, the space around it was strongly distorted. This piece of jade is so heavy that it almost collapses the space. Song Jia said, "I would like to thank you personally. I am guarding the yellow sand beast. If anything goes wrong, it will be my fault. You helped suppress the giant yellow sand beast this time. I owe you a favor." This piece of broken sky jade has an ancient talisman inside, which can be activated with the power of soul and faith to make an attack. With your soul power and the power of 10,000 beliefs, you should be able to hit a blow that is comparable to the peak of the gods. But he only has the power of 1 blow per day. You should pay attention to this and don't rely too much on him. Lin Moyu took the shattered sky jade and penetrated it with his soul power. Sure enough, he saw an ancient talisman sealed inside. The ancient talisman is thick and heavy, and the reason why shattered sky jade can collapse the space is all because of this corner tongue talisman. Lin Moyu just glanced at it and felt a twinge of pain and a sharp loss of soul power. Except for the corner of the ancient talisman in his soul, other ancient talismans are not accessible to him. In comparison, the ancient talisman in my soul is really special. In Lin Moyu's opinion, this piece of jade is of great value. It is a real life-saving treasure. The only drawback is that it can only hit 1 blow per day. At the same time, in the future, when your realm is sufficient, you can also study the tongue inside. "Thank you, senior." Lin Moyu sincerely thanked him. The treasure Song Jia gave him was indeed very precious. Song Jia nodded. "Finally, Xingzu and Fu asked me to bring you a message." Lin Moyu pricked up his ears. Senior said. Back in the time formation, Lin Moyu was still thinking about what Song Jia said to him. The words that Fu Xingzuan asked Song Jia to lead were very simple. just one sentence, secret realms are very important. If possible, clear as many as possible, especially special secret realms. It's not an order, more like a consultation. According to Song Jia, he was repeating the exact words, and this was the tone in which the Holy Lord spoke at that time. The Holy Lord spoke so politely. Considering the contact between him and Wu Xingzuan, Lin Moyu couldn't help but wonder, does the Holy Lord have such a good temper? Lin Moyu felt a little strange. He didn't seem to know Fu Xingzuan. What kind of person are the Holy Lords? There are only a few of them in the entire human race. They are so elusive that ordinary people are unlikely to encounter them in their lifetime. The only saint he has ever dealt with is Saint Hao. But since it is the words of the Holy Lord, you still have to listen. After all, he is the real top of the human race. Even the big bosses in the other shore realm have to listen to the words of the Holy Lord, let alone myself. Since Fu Xingzuan has said so, then if possible, he should clear more secret realms. Of course he knew that clearing the secret realm was only superficial. What the human race really needed was the ancient talisman after clearing the secret realm. The big hand condensed from the human emperor's network will come to capture Gu Zai every time after clearing the secret realm. The ancient talisman is the most important thing. Song Jia and Lin Moyu returned to the time formation in one step. He strengthened the formation and added suppressive power to the hall. According to him, he killed the giant yellow sand beast with his own hands, and the Yin Palace was also refined with his own hands. Song Jia used the power of rules to easily accomplish all this and then left happily. This is the state of the other shore, which is rarely seen in front of others. Those god kings basically don't know Song Jia's identity, they only know that he is a character. When Lin Moyu returned to the time formation, several gods looked at Lin Moyu, not at all like the gods looking at the king of gods. In their eyes, Lin Moyu is not a junior, at least he is an equal. If it doesn't work out, I'll have to call you Master Lin Moyu from now on. After Lin Moyu explained his purpose, they led Lin Moyu into the main hall. That attitude should be as polite as possible. As for those god kings, they all looked at Lin Moyu in shock, and none of them dared to follow him. They knew very well that they were not qualified to talk to Lin Moyu. The gap between the two sides is so great that it can no longer be measured by realm. Although their cultivation level is higher than Lin Moyu's, in terms of real strength, they are not enough to match Lin Moyu's. After all, in this world, big fists are the last word. Especially Luo Feiyu, before he only thought Lin Moyu was a genius. I didn't expect Lin Moyu to be so strong. He seemed to be unable to say junior brother. Thinking about Lin Moyu's high spirits, and then thinking about himself, Luo Feiyu's heart sank, and his whole person became more and more lonely. Lin Moyu's voice suddenly sounded in his ears, "Senior brother Luo, please come into the hall." Luo Feiyu was stunned for a moment, then walked into the hall. In the main hall, several gods have left, leaving only Jian Shen. After a great battle, the gods had consumed a lot, and they had all gone to higher places at this moment. Lord Jian Shen is now the person in charge of the time formation. Lin Moyu stood in front of Lord Jian Shen, looking very casual, but Luo Feiyu did not dare to do this. He saluted Jian Shen respectfully. "Junior Luo Feiyu has met your lord." Jian Shen looked Luo Feiyu up and down and said, "You must be the eldest son of Lord Luo Hong." Luo Feiyu was slightly surprised. "Do you know my father?" Jian Shen's slightly indifferent face finally showed a smile. "I once went to the battlefield with your father, and we were close friends of life and death, but we separated later on when we had other things to do. After not seeing each other for many years, I thought that brother Luo's son had grown up so much and had become a little god. You and brother Luo looked so much alike back then. I really miss you. I wonder how brother Luo is doing now." It turned out that there was such a thing. Luo Feiyu was smart and immediately changed his mind. "Feiyu has met Uncle Shi. My father is fine now. If Uncle Shi is free, he can go to my Luo house for a drink." Jian Shen laughed loudly and said, "Okay, go at your leisure." As he spoke, he looked Luo Feiyu up and down, and then looked at Lin Moyu. Little friend Lin, are you really sure? Lin Moyu shook his head. It's hard to say yet, but we have to give it a try. Jianshan nodded. Okay, you come with me. He walked towards the inside of the hall, and Lin Moyu motioned for Luo Feiyu to follow. There was a strange look in Luo Feiyu's eyes. He didn't know what kind of riddle Lin Moyu and Jianshan were playing. It seems to be related to myself. However, the two did not explain, so he could only follow them now. Luo Feiyu and Lin Moyu walked side by side. Junior brother, so your surname is Lin? He didn't even know Lin Moyu's name before. It wasn't until Jianshan called Lin Xiaoyu just now that he knew Lin Moyu's last name. Lin Moyu smiled and said, Senior brother Luo, don't blame me. My name caused some unnecessary trouble, so I hid it deliberately. As he spoke, he lifted the information hiding function on the Human Emperor network, allowing Lu Feiyu to see his name. Lin Moyu. You are Lin Moyu. Luo Feiyu couldn't help but let out a strange scream. His eyes widened, looking completely in disbelief. In recent times, Lin Moyu has become too famous. But among the people in the Divine City, there are very few people who don't know Lin Moyu. 3 consecutive announcements of the Sacred City and 3 consecutive clearances of the Secret Realm pushed Lin Moyu's fame to its peak. In Luo Feiyu's memory, this was an achievement that had never been achieved before. Countless people regard Lin Moyu as a role model. Lin Moyu is currently the brightest star in the city. Luo Feiyu muttered, it's you, no wonder, no wonder. He kept repeating these 2 words. As for what was wrong, only he himself knew. Others thought Lin Moyu was just a top genius, a master at clearing secret realms. Who could have known that Lin Moyu's combat power had reached this level? Facing the God Lord, Lin Moyu is also capable of fighting and even winning. With this kind of combat power, it will naturally be much easier to clear the secret realm. Luo Feiyu has also been to the secret realm many times. He knows that in the secret realm, the stronger the combat power, the safer it will be. Luo Feiyu looked at Lin Moyu. Junior brother Lin, I feel that everyone underestimates you. Lin Moyu smiled modestly, it's just good luck. Luo Feiyu shook his head, this is not as simple as luck, strength is strength. I can't pass the 2nd stage of the Black Rain secret realm. Zhongming sinks into the sea. But you were able to pass the customs smoothly, this cannot be explained by luck. Junior brother Lin, can you tell me how to clear the Black Rain secret realm? Lin Moyu did not refuse and directly told Lu Feiyu how to clear the Black Rain secret realm. After Luo Feiyu heard this, he murmured, so, I'm pretty lucky. If I am lucky enough to pass the 2nd stage, I will definitely die in the 3rd stage. In the 3rd stage, facing Yijiao Ancient Talisman, Luo Feiyu's soul will sink directly and it will be impossible to wake up again. So falling into the Black Sea actually saved his life. At this time Jianshan stopped and said, we're here. A secret room that had been sealed for a long time was opened, and a strange atmosphere rushed out of the secret room. This strange aura hit his face, and it contained powerful and weird laws. Luo Feiyu had an indescribable feeling. He felt that everything around him, including himself, had become very chaotic. This kind of confusion was indescribable, but it made him feel uncomfortable. He was unable to think in this situation, and his thinking became confused. This kind of law can affect the little god, obviously the law is extremely powerful. He glanced at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't seem to feel anything, nothing unusual. When he was looking at Lin Moyu, Jianshan was also quietly observing Lin Moyu. As a god, Jianshan felt a little uncomfortable under the impact of this aura, but Lin Moyu didn't feel it at all. He could tell that Lin Moyu was not pretending to be calm, but really didn't feel anything. It can be seen from this that Lin Moyu's soul should not exceed himself. Jianshan looked at the secret room and whispered, this is the intersection of the laws of the time array. Here, time gets messed up, so it's uncomfortable. In the time room outside, the time stream will exceed the real world. And in this secret room, the flow of time will be slower than in the real world. It is more difficult to slow down time than to speed up 170 seconds. There is only one secret room in the entire time array, and the speed can be 10 times faster. If you stay in there for 1 day, 10 days will pass in the real world. Listening to Jianshan's introduction, Luo Feiyu was a little confused. What's the use of slowing down time? Jianshan smiled slightly and said, let Xiaoyu Lin do the talking. Lin Moyu nodded. Sometimes, the effect of slowing down time is very important. For example, someone is seriously injured and only has 10 days left to live, but the medicine to save him has to be delivered by a 100-day store. As long as he gets here, he can buy more time. Lin Moyu just gave a small example, and Luo Feiyu immediately understood. In this way, it is indeed very useful. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, showed surprise, and said, Junior brother Lin, do you want me to go? Lin Moyu hummed, Senior brother Luo, go inside and wait for me. I'll try to think of a solution. Lin Moyu didn't guarantee it, he just said he would give it a try. What if Luo Feiyu was given hope but failed in the end, which would cause a greater blow? Luo Feiyu understood what Lin Moyu meant. Thank you so much, Junior brother Lin. Anyway, I'm already like this, and how much worse can I be if I am worse? After being tortured for so long, Luo Feiyu had already figured it out. Just like what he said, the worst he could do was regress his realm and become an ordinary god king, but at least he could drink wine for thousands of years. Not everyone in the big world can become a god. There are countless cultivators, but only a few can truly reach the realm of a god. If he can't become a god, it's his destiny. Luo Feiyu was originally a very determined and free-spirited person, but the illusion of the Black Sea was too overbearing. A lifetime of sinking has become the deepest subconscious of Luo Feiyu's soul. Whenever Luo Feiyu wants to break through, these subconscious minds will turn into inner demons, causing Luo Feiyu to fail to break through. Over time, Luo Feiyu's mood and confidence were greatly damaged, and there was no hope of a breakthrough. And because his state of mind was damaged, even the little god state could not be maintained. As a god, Jianshan could naturally see that Luo Feiyu was in bad condition. But there was nothing he could do. Jianshan said, go to the secret room and stay for a while, waiting for us to call you. It may be a little uncomfortable in the secret room. It will take some time for you to get used to it. Luo Feiyu nodded and saluted Lin Moyu and Jianshan again. Thank you so much, Junior brother Lin, and thank you so much. As he said that, he strode into the secret room, and the door of the secret room also opened. The flow of time in the secret room became slow, and Luo Feiyu's movements also became extremely slow. But his consciousness and thoughts did not change at all, and what he should do was not what he should do. As a result, it caused great disharmony. Often the consciousness gives a new instruction, but the hands and feet are completely unable to keep up. This feeling of discomfort and powerlessness made Rune Feiyu feel at a loss. He could only slow down his thinking and everything. Let your mind completely quiet down. He came to the center of the secret room, sat down slowly, and began to meditate. Outside the secret room, Jianshan looked at Lin Moyu. Little friend Lin, how do you know that there is a secret room in the time array that slows down the flow of time? Lin Moyu smiled slightly. I said I saw it, do you believe it? Jianshan laughed loudly. Xin, with Xiaoyu Lin's talent, it's not surprising at all that he can see it. Lin Moyu really saw it. He had observed the time formation in the main hall before and knew that the time formation also had two sides. On the surface it is accelerating time, but on the inside it must be decelerating time. Only in this way can the whole body maintain balance. Being able to use the Stone of Time to set up a time formation is already very impressive. However, it also shows that no one in the human race has mastered the law of time. If someone truly masters the law of time, then there is no need to go to such trouble. It is not difficult to directly use the law of time to set up a time-accelerating formation. There is no need to set the formation to both the outside and the inside in order to maintain balance. Even the time stone can be dispensed with. Jianshen led Lin Moyu to the back of the hall. Behind the main hall, there is a large garden. There are 3 time houses arranged in the garden. These 3 time houses are also located in the formation I and are the core formation I of the time formation. Jianshen explained, the time in these 3 time houses can be accelerated up to 200 times, but the distortion he caused to the law is equal to the 100-fold acceleration of other time houses. In other words, using these 3 time rooms for cultivation can save half the time compared to other time rooms. The faster time accelerates, the greater the distortion of the laws of reality. After time has accelerated more than 100 times, the speed of understanding the law has been greatly reduced. Unless you leave the real world behind and go to the Human Emperor training field controlled by the Human Emperor network, you can enjoy the acceleration of time without being affected by the cultivation rules. However, the cost of the Human Emperor's training ground is too expensive, and ordinary practitioners will only go there in critical moments. If you stay there all year round, no one can afford the consumption. The 3 time rooms in the main hall are not open to the public on weekdays. They are the time rooms exclusive to the gods. This time, we made an exception and opened for Lin Moyu. Jianshen opened one of the time rooms for Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu, time inside is accelerated 200 times. I don't recommend you to stay in it for too long. The faster time accelerates, the greater the pressure on the soul. Staying there for too long is harmful to the soul. The specific length of stay varies from person to person. The stronger the soul, the longer it can stay. Lin Moyu understood Jianshen's good intentions and said, "Thank you Lord Jian, I will be careful." Jianshen handed over his hand and said, "Then I wish you good luck," to Xiaoyu Lin. The door closed behind Lin Moyu, and the originally dark time room also lit up. Waves of power belonging to the law of time rose from the ground, and runes appeared on the ground. These runes form a formation and are channeling the power of the Stone of Time. The Stone of Time contains the law of time, and only by using it as the eye of the formation can a time formation be arranged. In addition to the Stone of Time, huge power is also needed to promote the operation of the formation. Most of the time, the formation uses the power of the stars. But not here. Songjia, the boss of the other shore realm, used the heart of the yellow sand beast as the power source of the formation. In this way, the formation is also mixed with the power of the yellow sand giant beast. Lin Moyu can clearly feel that in the law of time, there is also a large earthstone law. The efficiency of practicing earth and stone laws here will be higher than other laws. Lin Moyu didn't want to understand any laws, he wanted to study the ancient talismans in his soul world. The ancient talisman is very special. Other ancient talismans cannot even be seen, but this ancient talisman can not only be seen and touched, but it also actively penetrates into one's soul. Lin Moyu even once doubted whether this ancient talisman had its own consciousness. The ancient talisman is very strong, there is no doubt about it. Like a magic weapon, it is not impossible to generate consciousness over countless years. But after entering his soul world, Lin Moyu did not feel the slightest spirituality from it. Once spirituality occurs, it is almost impossible to hide it. What's more, this is my own soul world and my home court. Therefore, Lin Moyu is 100% sure that this ancient talisman does not produce spirituality and does not pose a threat to himself. What you have to do now is to master it, master the ancient talisman, even if it is just a corner, you can greatly improve your strength. And he can also treat Luo Feiyu easily. The soul formally comes into contact with the ancient talisman, feels the pulse in the ancient talisman, and understands the god within it. The ancient talisman is extremely complex, and a corner of the ancient talisman is enough to evolve the secret realm and evolve its own rules. Its complexity far exceeds that of advanced runes. Lin Moyu analyzed and understood bit by bit, and gradually understood the essence of the ancient talisman. Time is constantly accelerating. Every day that passes in the outside world, 200 days pass by for Lin Moyu in the time room. Lin Moyu's progress was extremely slow at first. The ancient talisman was too complicated. In the first 100 days, the gains were minimal. There is nothing more than some occasional insights. The door of the ancient talisman was tightly closed to Lin Moyu, making it impossible to enter. 100 days later, Lin Moyu no longer clung to the ancient talisman, but instead took out the rune and began to continue studying the runes recorded in it. Stones from other mountains can be used to attack jade. By studying rules, it may be possible to pry open the door of ancient talismans. Under the acceleration of time 200 times, the rules are distorted, making it much more difficult to learn the rules. But it has no effect on the runes. Lin Moyu can still learn the runes with extremely high efficiency. The general runes and rules were mastered bit by bit, and these runes were gradually dismantled into lower-level advanced runes. Lin Moyu is a very fast learner, and now his understanding of runes has reached a new level. A general rune can be mastered in just 1 or 2 days. Then dismantle it, and within a month at most, a general rune can be completely separated. Each general rune can be disassembled into 36 advanced runes. As long as one less one is taken apart, it means that one's grasp is not complete. Lin Moyu doesn't allow this to happen. Either he doesn't learn, or he learns to the extreme. The yellow sand planet has completely returned to calm. After the previous beast tide, the number of sand beasts in the entire galaxy was greatly reduced. The entire galaxy has seemed quiet lately. The army temporarily controlled the galaxy and did not allow outside practitioners to enter. Even the cultivators who were in the time room were expelled. Now in the time house, except for a few gods who are sitting in charge, there are only 2 people, Lin Moyu and Luo Feiyu. The 2 of them knew nothing about what was happening in the outside world, and each was immersed in their own world. Lin Moyu was learning runes, while Lu Feiyu was trying to calm down. In the blink of an eye, 40 days passed. Lin Moyu spent 8,000 days in the time house. After more than 20 years, he finally mastered the entire article. In the process of learning, that inexplicable sense of familiarity arises again. This feeling of familiarity is very strange, indescribably strange. It comes out of nowhere, and there is no trace. Simply ignore him. If you are willing to come, then come. Closing rules. Lin Moyu closed his eyes and said, the basic runes are 10,800. Advanced runes 6,480. General runes, Japanese. No matter how complicated the ancient runes are, they remain unchanged. They are actually composed of basic runes and advanced runes. Lin Moyu seems to have understood the nature of the ancient talisman. No matter how complicated the ancient runes are, their roots are still basic runes and advanced runes. From this point of view, ancient runes can also be disassembled into countless advanced runes and basic runes. With a new understanding, Lin Moyu once again began to study tongue benefits in the soul world. This time, he wants to open the door to the world of ancient symbols. Even if you can't stride in, you still have to take a look at the world inside. The eyes of the soul opened, carrying the power of the other side, constantly scanning the tongue talisman. This is just a corner of the ancient talisman, not complete. Lin Moyu first found the fault and started to analyze it bit by bit. The soul power wrapped around the ancient talisman, trying to find a gap to get in, and the soul began to be consumed in large quantities. The giant talent tree sways constantly providing Lin Moyu with enough soul power. If it were anyone else, the soul power would be exhausted in a short time, and recovery would be very slow. But Lin Moyu can continue to conduct research as long as he controls the degree and maintains a balance between consumption and supply. Another 10 days passed, and finally we had some clues. Lin Moyu successfully removed an event rune from this incomplete ancient rune, a high-level rune that targets the soul and can produce illusions. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. He knew that the door to the ancient talisman had been pushed open by him. In the main hall, several gods have recovered. They guard the time formation mainly to prevent the yellow sand beast from resurrecting. On weekdays, they have to control the formation regularly to put pressure on the heart of the yellow sand beast. Now that the formation has been reinforced and the force of suppression has become stronger, they have become empty. Several gods have recovered from the previous battle and are now gathering in the main hall, drinking and talking together. A deity sat on the ground in an inconspicuous manner, threw an unknown piece of animal meat into his mouth, and said vaguely, "Little friend Lin has been in there for more than 100 times. Jianshan drank and whispered, 132 days, to be precise. My dear, it's been 132 days. Xiaoyu Lin's soul is really strong. Better than us, I can stay in there for 100 days at most. It's amazing to be able to stay for 100 days. The acceleration of time is stressful for the soul, especially the 200 times acceleration, which is very stressful for the soul. I guess that Lin Xiaoyu's soul has reached at least the 4th level peak. Yes, at least the peak of the 4th rank, but it is also possible that the Jade soul gave birth to Z, otherwise the Lord would not be so polite to him. The Lord obviously feels that Xiaoyu Lin will cross the galaxy and set foot on the other side like him in the future. With Xiaoyu Lin's ability, it shouldn't be difficult to reach the other side. Suddenly, several people turned their heads and looked at each other at the same time. Lin Moyu was walking from the back of the palace. 132 days in reality, 26,400 days in the time house, a full 72 years. This is the longest time Lin Moyu has practiced since he started practicing. But to the gods present here, just a few decades is nothing at all. Each of them has experienced hundreds of years of seclusion and has practiced for many years. This is not just talk. When they looked at Lin Moyu, they all looked shocked. At this time, Lin Moyu's whole body exuded an unspeakable temperament. Ancient, noble and mysterious. The weak coercion spreads out at will, as if it were in the abyss. Several gods had the same feeling as if they were facing a powerful person from the other side. But Lin Moyu is clearly the God King. God King 6th level. When I entered, I was at the 5th level of the God King, and now I have reached the 6th level. After reaching the God King realm, it is normal for ordinary cultivators to advance by one level within hundreds of years. Only a genius like Lin Moyu can advance to the next level in just a few decades. Junior Lin Moyu, I've met all the seniors. Lin Moyu bowed to several people. Several people quickly returned the courtesy, you don't have to be polite. Congratulations to Xiaoyu Lin for your achievements and your improvement in your realm. Congratulations to Xiaoyu Lin for his great improvement in cultivation. Several deities were so polite that they all congratulated Lin Moyu. They only know that Lin Moyu's cultivation has improved, but they don't know that Lin Moyu's improvement in cultivation is not a gain at all. The real gain is far more than that. Lin Moyu looked at Jianshan, Senior Jian, I think I can try to help Senior Brother Luo. Please ask Senior to open the door for me. Jianshan stood up immediately, okay, I'll open the door. He left with Lin Moyu and disappeared from sight. The remaining deities looked at each other in confusion. I take back what I said before. Lin Xiaoyu's soul must have become purple, and it will not be a problem to reach the other side in the future. My dear, when I looked at Xiaoyu Lin just now, I felt like I was seeing an adult. Any genius out there is bullshit compared to Xiaoyu Lin. It's too far off. I have lived for thousands of years and have never seen such a genius. Even Xiaoxing is far inferior to Xiaoyu Lin. Thousands of years are nothing. If you count 10,000 years, there will be no genius like Lin Xiaoyu. What a blessing for my human race. In front of the secret room, Jianshan opened the door. The chaotic aura of the law of time hit his face again. Jianshan frowned slightly as before. He didn't like this aura. Lin Moyu remained motionless, with no expression at all. But in Jianshan's eyes, Lin Moyu was different this time from last time. The aura belonging to the law of time actually took the initiative to bypass Lin Yu. A more accurate statement is that Lin Moyu seems to have an invisible force that blocks the breath of law. This is the aura of the law of time and it can actually be affected. Jianshan asked himself that he couldn't do it. Lin Moyu seemed even more mysterious in his eyes. In the secret room, Luo Feiyu sat in it. He seemed to have fallen into trance and looked very stable. But in fact this is not the case. His aura is still unstable and the loss of time is slowing down, which can only delay the deterioration of his condition but cannot cure him. But there are also benefits. Everything slows down here, and Luo Feiyu's anxiety seems to have disappeared a lot. Senior brother Luo. Lin Moyu's voice entered the secret room, and it took several seconds for Luo Feiyu to react. In the back room, everything slows down. The expression on Luo Feiyu's face changed slowly, and then he stood up slowly. Lin Moyu looked at this situation with inexplicable joy. It's like using a curse on the enemy in the small world to slow down the enemy. Luo Feiyu did it in slow motion, taking several times longer than usual to get up slowly lift his legs, and walk out of the secret room step by step. When he left the secret room, his whole body trembled violently and his movements suddenly became faster. If Luo Feiyu hadn't reacted quickly enough, he would have been thrown to the ground. He took 2 steps forward, his body floated into the air for an instant, and then he stabilized. Lin Moyu looked at Luo Feiyu. It seems that senior brother Luo is having a good time these days. Luo Feiyu smiled and said, everything has slowed down here, but my thinking has not changed. I thought back on my life from slow to fast, and found that what I have done in this life can be regarded as remarkable. For the family, good or bad, neither a genius nor a talent. He has done nothing for the human race. He has neither made many outstanding contributions nor smeared the human race. At least he has gone to the battlefield and killed the enemy. Even if your realm falls in the future and you are unable to become a god, at least you will have a clear conscience in this life. In the next few thousand years, I will be associated with wine, which will be a wonderful thing. Luo Feiyu said it very freely, as if I had already figured it out. Lin Moyu followed Luo Feiyu's words and said with a smile, it seems that senior brother Luo is already ready. If this is the case, then I won't bet. Luo Feiyu was stunned for a moment and looked at Lin Moyu with wide eyes. Junior brother Lin, you mean, you have a way? Lin Moyu gave an ambiguous hum. Originally there was a way, but I'm only 50% to 60% sure. It may be effective, or it may make Luo Shiyu's mood worse. This is a gamble. But now that senior brother Luo has figured it out, I won't bet. Luo Feiyu quickly grabbed Lin Moyu and said urgently, don't, the 50% to 60% certainty is already very high, and it is completely worth the gamble. What if I win the bet? I just said that, no matter how bad it is, I won't die, right? No, even if I'm going to die, I'm going to take a gamble. Luo Feiyu's eyes became firm. How could someone who could cultivate to the level of the little god lord give up so easily? What I said before is really just helpless words. Of course Lin Moyu also understood that he was just joking with Luo Feiyu. Lord God, can you arrange a quiet room for us? Jianshen naturally agreed to Lin Moyu's request. There is nothing else in the main hall, but there are many quiet rooms. Coming to the nearest quiet room, Jianshen left, leaving only Lin Moyu and Luo Feiyu in the quiet room. Luo Feiyu asked, what method does junior brother Lin plan to use? Lin Moyu said softly, if you can't destroy it, you can't establish it. Can senior brother Luo dare to give it a try? If it's not broken, it's not established? Luo Feiyu was a little confused and didn't know why. How did it break, so what happened? Lin Moyu's fingertips came out with a drop of black water. I want senior brother Luo to experience the illusion of early again. The difference is that before, senior brother Luo entered passively in the Black Sea, but this time he was in a sober state. Come down and take the initiative to enter. Enter the illusion to make up for your regrets. Senior brother Luo can also use this to make up for his state of mind. Luo Feiyu's mental wounds came from the Black Sea, from one scene after another, from a lifetime of illusions. So now let him relive the illusion and make up for all the regrets he has had for a lifetime. Lin Moyu was not worried about whether he would be the same one when he entered the illusion, because the illusion at that time had already become Luo Feiyu's subconscious and his instinct. Entering again will inevitably be the original illusion, but there is also a possibility that Luo Feiyu will still return with regrets after entering for the second time. This will make your mood even more broken. So this is a bet, and the decision of winning or losing lies with Luffy Ray. Lin Moyu looked at him. Senior brother Luo, how about it? Luo Feiyu did not hesitate. Come on, I also want to see what kind of illusion I entered. A drop of dark water condensed on Lin Moyu's fingertips. It looks no different from the black water in the Black Rain secret realm. But if you look carefully, you will find that the drop of water on Lin Moyu's fingertips is even darker. This drop of water is like the condensation of rivers and lakes. Once dispersed, it can immediately turn into a river and sea. The black water slowly flew up and came to Luo Feiyu's eyes. The black water seemed to exude boundless charm, immediately attracting Luffy Yu's attention. Luo Feiyu's eyes could no longer be separated from the black water. Gradually, his eyes lost focus. The black water exudes a mesmerizing magic that is inescapable. Lin Moyu's voice came faintly. Senior brother Luo, have you really decided? Luo Feiyu's eyes had lost focus, and he even lost the ability to answer. He just nodded instinctively, which was a subconscious answer. What Lin Moyu wants is this effect, to stir up the subconscious and let Lu Feiyu experience the illusion again. With a flick of his fingers, the black water turned into flowing light and penetrated into Luo Feiyu's forehead. Boom! Luo Feiyu fell straight to the ground, as if dead. The black water exploded in his soul world, turning into a black sea and swallowing his entire soul in an instant. Just like before, many illusions reappeared in Luo Feiyu's soul world. Lin Moyu sat down aside and said softly, Senior brother Luo, you have to rely on yourself from now on. Lin Moyu has done everything he can to relive the illusion and repair his Taoist heart. Only Luo Feiyu can save himself. Consciousness returns to the soul world and sees new guests in the soul world. A corner of runes is shining. In the time house, Lin Moyu has been exploring and studying it for so many years. The complexity of the ancient runes was completely beyond my imagination. Lin Moyu feels that he still thinks of it simply. Especially after dismantling the first high-level rune, this is even more true. I was in a good mood at that time. I thought that the ancient talisman door had opened a small gap, but later I discovered that it was only a small gap. After opening this gap, it can no longer be pushed open. The ancient talisman gate is extremely strong and extremely difficult to shake. Day after day, I continued to study and dismantle it. Use all the rune knowledge you have. Tried again and again, analyzed again and again, I can't count how many times I have analyzed and tried. Almost all attempts ended in failure, one blow after another. During his occasional breaks, Lin Moyu would laugh at himself for being too ambitious. He is obviously the God King, so he tries to analyze the ancient talismans, but he is really far off. But he is not willing to give up just yet. Unknowingly, my unwillingness to admit defeat began to trickle down. Just like before, Antares asked Antares to kill him again and again. In the repeated deaths, he forcibly turned all his spells into stellar-level spells. If you are not even afraid of death, how can you be afraid of failure? Gradually, Lin Moyu's Taoist heart became stronger and his confidence regained. I don't know when that day started, but that inexplicable feeling of familiarity emerged again. I was really shocked at that time. When did I come into contact with ancient talismans? Why do I feel familiar when facing ancient symbols, as if I have seen them somewhere, or even drawn them myself? But in memory, there is no such thing. Lin Moyu couldn't understand it and stopped thinking about it, but after an inexplicable sense of familiarity appeared, Lin Moyu suddenly discovered that the ancient talisman seemed to have become simpler. I easily dismantled some advanced runes, and the gap in the door leading to the ancient runes became a little wider. Lin Moyu remembers clearly that the first time that familiar feeling appeared was when he was observing the soul fire runes in the 4-star competition. Ever since the feeling of familiarity appeared, I have had a natural feel for runes. It's extremely easy to learn. It would take others decades or hundreds of years to learn the runes, but it would only take me dozens of days, or even a few days, to fully master them. A book of rules is enough for most talisman masters to study for a lifetime, but in front of me, it was mastered so easily. Lin Moyu could not give any explanation for this. Later, for a long time, Lin Moyu became able to disassemble the ancient talismans smoothly, and even had the illusion of being handy. Lin Moyu also discovered clues to the ancient talisman. The ancient talisman is composed of countless advanced runes and basic runes. Even if it is just a corner of the ancient talisman, the advanced runes that make up it may exceed 1,000, and the basic runes can reach tens of thousands. These runes overlap each other, forming an extremely complex three-dimensional structure. Not only that, these runes are also connected to each other in the form of a rune array, eventually forming ancient runes. The ancient talisman caused a qualitative change, jumped out of the rules, and has a history of rules since then. It is precisely because there are so many runes as support that even if there is only a corner or a fragment of the ancient rune left, it can still play a powerful role. Because there are still a lot of runes inside. During the analysis process, Lin Moyu finally understood some of the fundamental principles of ancient talismans. With his ability, it is impossible to draw ancient symbols. The most basic requirements for drawing ancient symbols and mastering the power of rules. That's a thing from the other side realm, and it has nothing to do with me. Lin Moyu understands this deeply, so he never expects that he can draw ancient talismans now. Being able to control an ancient talisman now is already a very good result. Lin Moyu gradually understood the function of this ancient talisman. This ancient talisman is one of the cores of a complete ancient talisman. A complete ancient talisman often has multiple cores. Its function is to blur, to put it bluntly, it creates an illusion, making it difficult for people to distinguish between reality and falsehood. In battle, if it plays its role, it can instantly drag the enemy into a fantasy world, making people unable to extricate themselves. But because it wants to connect illusion and reality, it has a yin and yang side. Can constantly switch between reality and fantasy. So when it evolved into a secret realm, it formed the Black Rain secret realm. There is also a yin and yang side, there is reality, and there is illusion. However, illusion still dominates, the most important power emperor is the illusion. It is also because it is an illusion that I can look directly at it. As for why it took the initiative to enter its own soul world, Lin Moyu never got the answer. After decades of unremitting efforts, we can finally perform some simple operations on the Horn-Tongue talisman. For example, using ancient talismans, you can condense a substance similar to black water. Black water can make people fall into fantasy and find it difficult to extricate themselves. In Lin Moyu's observation, the black water he created through the ancient talisman can affect the gods below the 6th level. Only those high-level deities above level 6 will not be affected. If coupled with the power of faith, the role of black water can be further expanded. This alone has greatly increased his combat power. At least when facing a cultivator of the 6th level of the God Lord, there is no need to fight desperately. There are more ways to fight the enemy. While Luo Feiyu was experiencing the illusion, Lin Moyu reviewed the results of his more than 7,000 years of cultivation. Overall, the effect was very good and he was very satisfied.